Any good acting has behavior with it.
Nate, why? Why such bitterness? What have I done to you? Get out! You're no nephew of mine. As far as I'm concerned, you're as dead as that wretch Cermak.
You have to embellish the words with a certain amount of gravity. Because we're talking about things that are really important here that are kind of secret. There's a natural kind of darkness when you talk about noir. You know, it's great. I love it.
Well, greetings. It's your greetings. It's your laser Bob from 1987. That's right, me, Robert Meyer Burnett, when I was young and pretty. But now I'm old. I'm old and wiser. What can I say? But, you know, everything works. So that's good. This is another episode. We were gone. We were gone because, well, let's face it. This time, technical difficulties were the fault of a German. Go figure. They keep the trains running. But we are back this week. We're back with a man that does not need no introduction, but you know him, you love him, all the way once again from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. It's DIETER, Bastian.
Well, Rob, I'm glad to be back, and I know what you're thinking. You douchey douche. How could you skip last week just because of a warm summer evening breeze that went through Germany, cooking everything up? But what can I do? And on second thought, Rob, I know what you're saying. Should I hang my head in shame about the abysmal performance of the German soccer team? Yes, I should do that. I apologize for that. What can you do? I cannot hold responsible for that, but I can hold responsible for all my purchases that I did. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. DIETER here. I'm Rocky like Hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. And Rob, just get this out of the way. The Soccer World Cup, since the Germans are out, it reflects how the state of the German nation is at the moment, My last straw are the US of A, which are playing, if I did the math correctly, time-wise, tomorrow at 5 p.m., your time. For me, it's unfortunately in the night against Belgium. So, Rob, USA versus Belgium. Give us the score, the final score for tomorrow.
3-1 US.
Okay, there we go. Because your team is the last straw that I have to hold on to the World Cup. But what can I do? What can I say? Well, the Germans disappointed again.
Yeah.
That's the state where the
like
coach
the
got
entire
fired.
20th century. Oh, kidding.
Yeah. The coach got fired, but the paycheck was still nice for him. That's all I have to say. And here, Rob, considering the box office, we have a yellow fever, perhaps, that's breaking out.
Oh, no.
Minions movie.
Yeah, I was going to say yellow fever. I've had that for a long time. Yes, it's true. It is true. And I you know what? You're going to have to bear with me because as I got this show ready, I got everything ready except that one thing.
Perhaps because there was not a big movie opening. Minions is big, but not for us usual, In that
By
sense.
the way, I want to say that there is a sad, I have dreamt of making Basic Instinct 3.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
I had a whole story beat out. I wrote an outline a couple years ago, and I really wanted to bring back Catherine Trammell, and it was international in scope. Really, it was called Basic Instinct 3 Trigger Warning. That's but anyway, just want to point out that Joe Esterhaus is talking about his Basic Instinct reboot Joe Esterhaus wrote the original.
Okay.
After nearly 35 years, Joe Esterhaus is back to basics with the follow-up to his 1992 erotic thriller, Basic Instinct. You know how much I love that movie. The screenwriter who was tapped to pen a reboot for MGM Studios' United Artists last year has given an update on the script, which features the on-screen return of Catherine Trammell, as it should. I just want to point out I have a quarter-scale Catherine Trammell statue right over there. I'm just saying. That's how much I love the movie. They came to me and asked, do you have any ideas for this? Esterhaus recalled to Interview Magazine, and I said, I do. I really talked about bare bones, and as you know, after Basic, there was a so-called sequel. It's really bad. It is not really bad. The sequel to Basic Instinct is the Jaws 2 of Basic Instinct sequels. You take that as you will. But anyway, so that's it. He's Catherine Trammell's in this, and so is a new character, her daughter Jezebel. See, since I'm never going to be able to make mine now, I'll tell you what the plot was. It was all about Eve, and Catherine Trammell is the Bette Davis character, and there was a new character who was her protege, who knows everything about her, figured her all out. And Catherine Trammell is now a global figure. She's a global power figure, an incredible personality that hobnobs with heads of state, and everyone knows her, one of the most famous people in the world. What nobody knows about her is she hunts in those circles all the time. And then, of course, she has a young protege, and they play a game of cat and mouse across the planet. And, of course, I'll tell you that you think Catherine Trammell has met her match. You think that this young upstart is going to kill her. And, of course, she turns the tables on her protege, or the woman that comes after her, and totally destroys her at the end. That was the gist of my story. But now I can never do it, and I'm sad. Just so you know. And now I'm supposed to talk about what? The box office? After that, how can I? How can I? Anyway.
Now Joe Estes has the idea that he needed, Rob.
There
Thanks
you go.
for that.
There you go. You take it. You take it, Joe. Minions and Monsters translates abroad with near 160 million worldwide cum. Toy Story 5 giddies up to 764 million worldwide. I mean, that's huge. But I'm going to go back and tell you what the domestic numbers are, if I can find those numbers, which right now I can't.
If they're already available.
They are available, and I can't find them. Where are they? Where are they? Nope, I don't have domestic numbers for you, Dietz. All I have are foreign numbers. But we'll do those.
Foreign numbers. Okay.
Oh no, we've got it. We've got it. Here they are. There was an article there. I realized the numbers are here. This is my bad. I'm a little rusty on the show today. So here is the domestic box office, and this is number one, of course, is Minions and Monsters with a 5-day 61.4 million, which is considered a big disappointment, the lowest franchise numbers in history. Toy Story 5 grossed another 31 million. It's made 366.3 million domestically, almost 750 million worldwide. It's doing quite well. Young Washington, 20.8 million from Angel Studios. You go, Angel Studios.
Okay.
Supergirl dropped over 70% for 9.6 million. It is grossed. Supergirl has grossed domestically 58.4 million. Total disaster. Disclosure Day grossed another 6 million for 105.3 million.
Hang in there.
Obsession has now grossed, get this, for a movie. The movie cost $750,000 to make. It's grossed $245.3 million. Backrooms, which just released the Everything Must Go edition, the extended cut, has now made $190.4 million. Incredible. Jackass, Best and Last, has put up $14.69 million domestic. Scary Movie is at $106.2 million, and The Invite, which is at very few theaters, actually, has grossed $1.37 million. It's doing very, very well. It's only in 28 theaters. So it is doing bang up business. So there's the box office for you.
Imagine that, Rob. Scary Movie 6 did domestically more than Supergirl worldwide. Insane. That's insane. But I can not tell you anything about Supergirl. I have not seen the movie yet. And since you did 3 observations, I'm a little bit hesitant now.
I did a triptych. As a matter of fact, collectively, those 3 shows will end up having 60,000 views, which is ginormous for my channel.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wasn't going to do that 3rd one, but then that article came out about competing cuts
and the different cuts. Yeah.
It was really that was really distressing and depressing to read, because it's the 2nd film that came out from DC Studios. That should never have happened. They should have been on that movie. They should have known. They should have known.
The second one really needed to be a banger.
It really needed to be a banger, and it was not.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. But you know what I'm doing later today, Dietz? I'm going to see one of the greatest movies ever made on its 85th anniversary. That's right. I'm going to see Citizen Kane in the theater with Alvaro today.
Nice. Rob, question. Considering Backrooms, the extended edition, is it, as people saying, just more added footage at the end, or inserted into the movie?
That's what I read. It's a long extended sequence of the async boys going at the end. It's like a post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene. Okay.
They go into the back rooms after the. It's like from 1990.
Yeah.
But it's a long sequence that they cut out of the film.
But considering extended edition or uncensored versions, Rob, finally, after waited the longest time, finally saw Obsession this week, since it dropped on digital in the US. It's finally came out here, since we are, in Germany, always the last, considering those smaller movies. And it was a month of torture for me, Rob, to do an actual dance around reviews. I couldn't even watch your observations about it. But finally, I can talk about the movie and watched your observation about it, where perhaps the verisimilitude scale was pretty high on that movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. What puts the movie for me in I love the movie was actually the last 5 minutes. Because the turns in the last 5 minutes I thought were terrific that the movie presented. What I didn't know is that the digital version is the uncensored version, so you get a little bit more of car carnage, not candy carnage, but car carnage, which is good and bad on both sides, because more carnage is always good, but the shot is that long that you can totally see it's a puppet,
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the theatrical versions, but probably the theatrical version works a little bit better in that way. But in the longer version, you totally can clearly see it's really going over the top. You were right on some points, Rob, considering how
Wait, I was right on some points?
On some, Rob. But considering your point, and then they call customer service, for me, that was just a funny scene at first. Just to call customer service about that One Wish Willow. I was not thinking about, Rob, who's producing the One Wish Willow? Where's the firm? Where's the CEO? What money makes the CEO? Who are the truck drivers who delivered the One Wish to the stores? I thought the scene was just funny, and then it had a nice spin. Do you want to talk to Nikki? So I thought, ooh. So you had immediately that funny and then creepy stuff in it. And I thought there were many of that points in Obsession, just when he wanted to leave and the door is completely with duct tape. So it was funny and creepy in some moments at the same time. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the last 5 minutes. If you stuck the ending, that great with the turns at the end. I had a great time with it. Really looking forward to getting the 4K about it. Really, I can understand the hype. But like you said, I tried to watch it at scale. At scale, I mean, it's a $750,000 movie. There's not fancy camera shots. Of course, you have cool shots when Nikki is in the back somewhere, but there's not many fancy camera tricks. So on that scale, I think it really held through. But I was not putting everything on the verisimilitude scale, especially when when the money starts raining. I was going with the flow.
Sure.
Of
And look,
obsession,
everybody's
obsession.
been going. The movie's hugely successful, and
Yeah. Insane.
Curry Barker. Congrats to everybody, and I think he's
And
already.
you said
doing
that he
fashion
already
ads.
has another movie in the pipeline already?
Yeah, he's already finished it. They've already finished shooting it.
Okay.
And it's about paranormal investigators who investigate something that they think it's it's not real, and of course it turns out to be real. Kind of an old story, but we'll see. I mean, in his case, I'm sure the expectations for his sophomore film are through the roof. I wouldn't want to be in his position. But
little pressure.
Yeah, he's got a pretty decent cast he's working with, so that's exciting. But listen, before we get into anything more, some news dropped this week.
Yeah.
That I figured, because everybody's been asking me about it, everybody's been talking about it, and I figured, well, we have to give our 2 cents worth.
Correct.
It was announced that Sony is going to discontinue physical discs for the PlayStation 5, which means they're also going to discontinue disc players, Blu-ray and 4K players that work in their PlayStation 5. This is devastating news for us physical media collectors, because the PlayStation 5, and to a certain extent when Xbox put out their Xbox X, they also had an external disk drive. There were more. These are the biggest manufactured drives in the world, and they kept a manufacturing base to make those players. Yeah. Without PlayStation, you're basically losing the biggest manufacturer of Blu-rays and 4K disc drives that exist, which means why should anybody produce those anymore? And of course, our beloved physical media is only good if we can't get drives, if we can't get players. Our media collections are moot. And so Bill Hunt from the Digital Bits, obviously a good friend of mine, wrote a pretty interesting article that I wanted to share with everyone. And that's, of course, you can go to the Digital Bits website, but I thought this was worth sharing. Those of you who were around for the DVD versus DivX format war back in 1998 will know that I was warning disc fans about this problem all the way back then. The Hollywood studios, networks, record labels, and streamers, not to mention the game industry and Silicon Valley tech companies at large, don't want you to own anything. They want you to rent or lease it from them forever. They want endless automatic withdrawal hooks sunk deep into your bank accounts. They want to distract you with apps and algorithms so you forget they're even there. They don't want you to become homeowners. They want you to be eternal renters. And the products and services they rent you will be just fine until they aren't anymore, because someone figured out how to make 2% more profit off you, so they will inshitify the thing you liked, rented, or God forbid, needed, to the point you don't even recognize it anymore. Now AI companies are getting in the act too. Hey, you don't need to form your own startup or business to compete with ours. Just use our platform. Want to write a book, make a movie, record a song? Just use our tools. You don't need to actually write it yourself or know how to play music or even think. Hell, you don't even need a job either. Who wants to work? Or make your own choices or, vote. We'll do all that for you. Just enjoy what we give you and like it. Or else. Human beings everywhere need to push back on this shit, and hard, or you, your kids, your grandkids are going to end up living as digital serfs in a techno-feudal fascist state led by Ayn Randian, antisocial, nerd prince hyperscalers with messiah complexes and control fetishes who will absolutely use misaligned AI, drones, humanoid robots, and their already total invasion of your privacy to enforce their weirdo whims on everyone. And you think I'm kidding, but deep down you know I'm right. These people talk about wanting to save humanity, particularly all the potential future generations as yet unborn, 10 to the power of 58. But it's funny how most of them can't be bothered, suffer, or actually care much about the annoying humans they're stuck with right now, who tend to refer to as mind or mids or takers or merely NPCs in a reality simulation game that's actually all about them. These guys dream taking control of the world via their homegrown, by and large, omni-consumer and Weyland-Yutani C-Corps while incurring no liability whatsoever for their actions because China, Star Trek Future, the bad people, reasons. Meanwhile, most folks want to go to a decent job, earn a decent wage, have kids, or provide for their families, then come home to a house they've worked hard for, cook burgers with the neighbors, watch a movie on disc they actually own, and maybe take the boat out for the weekend. And they like to drink water that doesn't poison them, eat food that doesn't have microplastic in it, and breathe air that doesn't give them cancer. Mark my words, these two dreams are ultimately not compatible. To be very clear, I'm an American and a patriot. I am in no way a doomsayer, nor am I anti-technology. To the contrary, I think the power of our technology to make the future better for all of us is extraordinary. But not if it comes at the cost of surrendering everything that makes us human in the first place and giving up everything that makes life worth living. What I am against is greedy, unelected narcissists who've become far too powerful via corporations that have been allowed to become too big to fail, who've hijacked capitalism to the point that we don't even have free markets anymore, and who've used their wealth to hijack democracy to the point that we've lost most of our actual freedoms. There ain't nothing American about that. So I thought that was worth sharing.
Yep.
And, of course, this software that I've spoken to you on, I bought this software. I bought it. And then, of course, earlier this year, I discovered while on a show that I don't own this software anymore. An update that I didn't ask for updated this software and put me on a subscription basis, which means software that I was using just fine for 6 years, unbeknownst to me, went to a subscription-only platform, and I didn't have a choice. And we heard that many movies were lost from the PlayStation Store that people had bought digitally. They're just gone. And that's the case. And, in our world, with what AI can do and the way people are already overwriting Wikipedia to bring their activist stances into historical notifications, we're going to have to decide as a culture, what do we want to do? What kind of people do we want to be? Because it all comes down to, look, I'm all about capitalism, but not necessarily late stage capitalism. I just want to be able to buy my discs and collect what I want and play what I want. But what's happening is that very notion is going away. And it's really strange. And people are going to, I understand, they're going to say, look, our lives are finite anyway. You can't take it with you. So why do you think you need to own something? You're just going to have to give it back when your life ends. And I'm like
the one with Willow, Rob. Which actually, I forgot, Rob, that would actually be my preferred title of the movie instead of Obsession, because Obsession is used pretty regularly for movies. So I would actually have called the movie One Wish Willow. For me, Rob, like I said, if you buy a gaming console with a disc drive, you have always the option to look for the game, getting it a little bit cheaper, like a Schnäppchen, But now we are beholden to the digital store and have to pay what they want us to pay, The only good thing, Rob, in quotes, is you don't need to pre-order any more games, You can easily purchase this when it comes out. So,
well, actually, you can pre-order Grand Theft Auto 6.
You can, but why? But why? There's no need to pre-order it, Rob.
I don't know. I think the servers are going to melt down.
And at first, Rob, I thought, considering GTA 6, perhaps, we all know, there's not many firms left that press our discs. Perhaps considering a big title like GTA 6, they were not able in the capacity range, but that was not actually the case. And I'm not buying simply an empty case, And considering games, my room is already cluttered. I could live with that. But like you said, considering players, you mentioned it on, I think, Observation. It's a problem for my firm too, Rob, considering the ships that we need.
Well, see, this is the biggest problem that no one's talking about.
Yeah.
Is there
exactly
that all
for
the
everyone.
all of the AI companies are buying up all the chips, buying up all
Correct.
the RAM because they're scaling up.
Correct.
And there's no chips left for everything else that needs chips,
for everything.
like cars, like
Correct.
anything that has a computer chip in it. And so because there's a shortage and AI companies are going to buy them all because they don't care. They've got the money. All of our consumer products are going to skyrocket in price. Anyone who's tried to look for RAM for their computer understands that. I mean, it's unbelievable what's happened. And because of these AI data centers, it's going to kill all consumer electronic products. Anything with a chip in.
Yeah.
What's happening at
Correct.
what's happening in your level? Because you work to make cars.
Correct, Rob. We need those chips too, the electronics in it, But it's tough to get them, like you said. The AI companies are buying them like they get produced, and there's no more left. That is a problem.
It's a huge problem.
In general.
It's a huge problem. And again, it just shows. I mean, I understand AI companies and all this, but the big tech companies and money, they have so much money, they'll always take precedence against. I mean, there are things you got to think about. Medical equipment requires chips. It's across the board. Everything that we have, and all of that is going to come second to AI companies and data centers, which are not only they ruin the environment. They guzzle water. It's a real problem.
Okay. Even Rob, if I have some movies that I want to talk about digitally, I think we have our into a show. I think we should show some physical media. Get to the heart of the show.
All right, why don't you go?
easy.
I don't have very much because I bought all my stuff has been on sale and I haven't received any of it yet.
Well, the first that I showed, Rob already showed, I've got The Arrival from Lionsgate Limited, which has a different cover artwork that you can use. And I just love the transparent emery cases that they use. So we've got the 4K and the Blu-ray. Really looking forward to watching that movie again. Haven't seen it in
It's a lot of
long
fun out.
time.
Watching it again was a lot of fun.
The Arrival. Then a movie that Rob and I thoroughly enjoyed. It's not at the top of the horror list. And I found out, Rob, since we're here on Let's Get Physical Media, we buy internationally. In Italy, there actually was a 4K coming out of Whistle.
Wow.
Actually. So it has slip here. A little bit of a different cover artwork in the back. So we've got the 4K and the Blu-ray. And even a little booklet for the movie, which of course is in Italian. The only drawback for me, because the back is actually printed too. And if you do that, you should actually use a transparent emery case, like the Lionsgate one. But it's got a 4K release in Italy, Whistle, which I think is the only 4K release of the movie. But I haven't checked it. Then Rob, 2 weeks ago, mentioned our little problem child. I haven't dived into it, but it was on its way already. I've got, of course, Shout Factory Day of the Dead Set 2, which of course comes with a lot of art cards that Rob put out, but I haven't dived into it. The only good thing for me, I know the track from the Laserdisc PCM track is the right one, but I will dive into the problematic set. Then I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I don't know about the second, haven't seen it, but since it was a big blockbuster this year, I have to have it. I got the collector's edition of Super Mario Galaxy. Is it?
Did you have to have
Super
it?
Mario
Though,
Galaxy,
did
but I haven't seen it, and probably, as I know my German label Turbine, they will probably put out a 3D version of it. So I haven't seen this one, Super Mario Galaxy. Then Rob, you told me about this movie, said this is awesome that BFI is putting that out, and I got it, Rob. I got Olivia Newton-John in Tomorrow from the UK. So this is just a Blu-ray, but it comes with a booklet too. Don't know anything about the movie, but I believe Rob even showed the trailer
I did.
on our show. He says
The
it's-
Deaf Crocodile
It is-
special edition is sold out.
Yeah, it is. Again, this is the BFI one from the UK. Tomorrow. It's always great when Shudder puts out their stuff on physical media. I don't know how they decide which title to put out. I think they look at the analytics, which movie gets, watched the most, and perhaps that will be then put out on physical media. So they put out Cat in the Bag for me. Haven't seen it. It's called Blood Relatives. So a little bit of a vampire movie. I would just assume that at least the booklet makes it a little bit clearer. It's always nice that Shudder gives their releases a nice treatment when they're putting something on physical media. So booklet, Blood Relatives. Not seen it, from Shudder. And it, of course, there's always a little bit of bonus material on their releases too. Then, not only that was a Cat in the Bag. Next one, two. This is from, I think, Severin. Yeah, Severin. A 4K, and it comes with two Blu-rays that actually features only bonus material, the documentary. And we're staying in the vampire realm. It's Razor Blade Smile. I got no idea. Never seen it. So we've got two discs for extras and a 4K for the movie. Never seen it, but looking forward to it. Razor Blade Smile. Perhaps a nice double feature with Blood Relatives. Who knows? And this one Rob had in the news section, and for me, oh yeah, I will get this too. Let me just see. I think this is from always new companies here. Don't know who put it out, but it is the Hong Kong movie. My Name Ain't Susie. Is it? Ain't? Yeah. My Name Ain't Susie. So really don't know actually what's about, but there's actually a pretty thick booklet for it. So let me just see. Is there any controversial picks here? No, not really.
What are controversial picks, Deets?
Looking forward to My Name Ain't Susie. Looks a little bit like a different Hong Kong affair. It is from 1980, 85. My Name Ain't Susie. Then let me just stay in the realm of Asian movies. I remember having those movies on DVD, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's nice that Discotheque, I believe it's Discotheque, did put them out on Blu-ray. It is from a popular manga. It's called Nana, about a female punk rocker and a friend of hers. Really looking forward to seeing them again. I remember having the DVDs for those movies. So Discotheque put them out on Blu-ray. I don't even know if they're out in Japan even. And this is the second one. Nana 2. Different cover variation underneath. So nice. I remember having them on DVD. I believe it was even a special edition or something like that. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's from a manga. And I think it was Max that actually showed the movie. From Criterion Collection with Lee Marvin. I've got Point Blank, which was, of course, we had a little bit of price reduction for always the Criterion sale. And we get as usual the booklet. Seems like this is one of their fold outs. Yeah. Fold out booklets. For Point Blank. So this was, of course, price reduced. And the other Criterion title that I've gotten was one that started a little bit of controversy. Will it be the first? Will it be the only title that Criterion released? It actually was the only title that Criterion released, considering Disney and Pixar, but it was price reduced too. So I've got finally their Wall-E edition that they put out, because nobody knew how the deal came about. So we've got 4K, and I assume the other two are Blu-rays, bonus features, and a booklet for it. So it's unfortunately stayed the only Disney Pixar collaboration. It looks a little bit like the script of the movie. So first horror, Wall-E from Criterion in their sale. I turn it over to you.
Well, I don't have that much. I got a couple of discs and then stuff from Kino, but even the Kino, I mean, I can't complain when Kino sends me a box. It's fantastic. But just a few, they've been putting out, Kino puts out a lot of stuff on DVD still. A lot of it's foreign films, and I've, like that Israeli movie that I really loved. Yes.
Correct, yeah.
I love this movie, even though it's scathing, and I would call it very anti-Israel, but interesting. I loved it. And then so whenever they send me DVDs, I always really look closely at them. And they're films I haven't heard of, but they're usually foreign films. A movie called Two Pianos, which sounds great for me. A movie that played Sundance. Omaha, an empathic American masterpiece. It says right there on the cover. Yeah. And then, of course, they sent me Playing Around Season 1, which they also release a lot of foreign TV stuff on DVD. And then, clearly, the Piece de Resistance, one of their redemption titles, Revelations of a Psychiatrist. I kid you not, this is the name of this movie. Revelations of a Psychiatrist in a World of Perverse Sex. Now, you know me. I just smiled broadly when I saw this, and I'm like, oh, yes. And this is directed by Renato Polsetti's most offensive, most challenging film. Most offensive, music to my ears. Mondo-style film in which a psychiatrist explains to his students several stories of sexual deviancy. Each vignette begins with the doctor citing a fact-based newspaper or magazine story of the abhorrent sexual behavior. Please note that this film contains scenes of a very strong sexual nature and is strictly for adult viewing.
Okay.
Right up my alley. Right up my alley. This is from 1973, and it's from Italy, so you know it's going to be good. And then they sent Carl Lumley, Laura LaPlante, In the Love Trap, directed by William Wyler, the great William Wyler, but this is an old movie. And this comes from 1929, black and white, 69 minutes. But hey, you know what you do? Once you're in a love trap, then you have to go see a psychiatrist about your world of perverse sex. So it happens. It happens. There's your double feature. And then I got 2 discs from Arrow. The Australian film The Australian film Wake in Fright. And this actually, again, I bet they have, I didn't even change the slipcase. Yeah. This is a thick, chonky Arrow title. But let me change the slipcase here because I'm sure. Oh, cool. Oh, I love it. They brought back their old, the slipcase is the old Arrow video case, the old Arrow cover. So let me show you that. But here's the great thing about this. Arrow puts in I'd heard rumors of this, but now I have it. Okay. You know, Arrow puts their postcards in it, and sometimes the postcards have the next films that they have coming out
upcoming titles.
Ooh.
There you have it.
When I was 9 years old, this was my favorite movie, and obviously Arrow announced Forbidden Planet. They announced Tequila Sunrise. So Bobby B here is one happy boy, and the latter half of this year from Arrow is we're getting a lot of 70s sci-fi. We're getting Soylent Green. Ugh, cannot wait. So very excited there. And, of course, you already showed it, but I did get the Arrow 4K of Audition.
Nice. Audition, yeah.
So that's all the discs that I got this week. So, but I have ordered a substantial number of discs from the Criterion sale because I haven't bought a Criterion disc since September.
Yeah.
I am behind.
We all waiting for those sales.
Yeah, so I was waiting, and I probably went a little overboard, but so what? Now I'm caught up with all the Criterion stuff. Obviously, the Kubrick box set was not on pre-order. That'll be in the November sale. So I would imagine that is going to sell out. So as soon as that sale goes live, I'm going to Barnes & Noble and clicking that $500 bad boy, getting it at half price or whatever it sells for. But, that's cool. And then Kino, they have a summer sale. Arrow had a summer sale. But I went to Criterion and Severin. I availed myself of the Severin sale. Got some things that I've been eyeing for a long time, like All the Haunts Are Us or Ours, the second volume in the All the Haunts series. I love those. And they have stuff coming out like the 4K of the Autopsy of Jane Doe. Had to get those. Yeah. So I don't know when they'll show up. And then, of course, Second Sight has Name of the Rose coming and a couple of other things. And so, and there's just, to be honest, there's just not a lot of stuff coming out. I want to get the Warner titles. I want to get Private Benjamin, Warner Archive, and then start the Revolution Without Me. I haven't got those yet. So I'm going to have to go buy those, which I'm excited about. But, hey.
Yep.
So therein is...
Do we have some super chats that came in?
I don't know.
Perhaps.
Do we?
Check.
Let me see.
Perhaps, I don't know. I don't know.
Let's see. Do we have some super chats? We do. User Side Bay Forever became a member. They are welcome to the Imagination Connoisseurship. Darth Plato has re-upped his membership. Sir Lance in Pants has become a member. Gordon Z7S he upgraded his membership to Hero. Chairface 1000 became a member. Da Ninja Genko became a member. And Jen Talks Books. Welcome, PGS Hero. Well, anybody who talks books is a friend of mine. Stubble McShave says that Supergirl was the dreaded second album of a new band. That's pretty interesting. I like that. We have so that's it. We're caught up. Oh, let me check on tips.
On tips.
Hang on, I will go look and see if let me check on tips because we shall see. We do have somebody waiting in the wings who I can hear their sound though, which is we can hear it. I don't think they can hear it on the show. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so we got a few. Stubble McShade says I can't even say his name. Stubble McShave says I started watching the German series Babylon Berlin on HBO Max. I've just seen a few episodes, but right now it might be one of my favorite TV series that's streaming.
Nice. And on that note, Rob, on Babylon Berlin, our director of Hope and Glory, Eric von Short, did some storyboarding for the 5th season of Babylon Berlin.
Yeah. And Stubble McShave also goes on to say, I must agree with Jonathan Voico on the John Campea show, Epic, which is Baz Luhrmann's Elvis documentary, should be in one of the top 10 of the first half of 2026. What's up? Let's just dropped in a super chat.
Yeah.
What's up? I can't see the rest of his name.
What's up? It's Tom.
What's up? It's Dom. Do you think with Sony's fuckery, a video game type Plex server will become popular? It might. It might very well, unless they find some ways to circumvent that from happening. But that's a very good question. I honestly don't know the answer to that. So we shall see. So anyway, do you have a second set of discs you want to show before we bring in our
I have
esteemed
Rob, but
guest?
we could do our headliner first if he's already in.
We could. It's just not well. We might as well. I'll bring him in. I just haven't brought him in yet. I was going to put him in the show, but it'll take me a minute. So if you want to show something else, you can.
I can do that, Rob. I can do that. Okay. So on second haul, Rob knows I'm a big fan of this franchise, and of course, I've got Scream 7 with the slipcase because I love those floating heads, and if the killer's on it, and Scream 7, it wasn't the best of the franchise, but still an enjoyable ride. And I know what you will say, Rob, but Deets, Scream 7 as a slipcase, isn't there a steelbook for Scream 7? And I'll leave it at that. Okay? So this is the steelbook for Scream 7. And I have to give big kudos to Lionsgate Limited again. This is not Lionsgate Limited. This is, of course, Paramount. But the fourth one came out from Lionsgate Limited as a steelbook. I don't know why the fourth one, the rights are from Lionsgate. So this is the fourth one.
How great is that steelbook?
Yeah, and they, like I said, Rob, they kept, the design from those Paramount ones. And that, I think, deserves a lot of praise.
That's the lovely Lisa Stevenson and the
to
folks.
Keep the design
by the way,
of
Madam
the
Vice President
Paramount
Lisa
people.
Stevenson.
Yeah. And the fourth one is for many pretty high up in their personal ranking, even if I think it was on the box office the weakest one. So both Scream movies, Scream 7 and Scream 4. Then considering Arrow, I've gotten, of course, obviously, the 2 Mortal Kombat movies.
Oh my god.
First one. Rob, I got it.
I get it. Don't.
Guilty
I
pleasure.
would never.
And I switched to the regular cover because thank you. Because the reversible cover artwork I was not a big fan actually of, considering the drawing that they used. So I actually decided to go with the original one on both movies. So we've got, of course, the first one, but I haven't checked my postcard. And look at that, Rumble in the Bronx from Jackie. But we'll get to that probably a little bit later. And of course, the for most people dreadful Annihilation, which let me just see if there postcard in here too. No, here they actually have the poster in it. So Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, which comes, of course, here with, let me just see, Arrow's official movie companion with a K actually, which is really nice.
Wow.
To do that. So, great Shang Tsung. Save your pity for the weak. So, Mortal Kombat, one of those nicely guilty pleasure movies from back in the day. And Annihilation, haven't seen in a long time. We'll give it another
Give it a whirl, buddy.
And this one I will save for later, Rob. So I hope you're ready to bring the headliner on. I will save the rest
I'm ready.
last.
I'm ready to bring the headliner on, but we can't do it without his introduction. So here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Max Allen Collins. Max, I hope you can hear the golf clap from here. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show.
Good to see both of you. Is the volume okay this week?
Yeah, dude, you are sounding just screamy good.
Okay, and I want Dietz to know he's been very much on my mind. It was incredibly hot here in Iowa last week.
Okay.
And I was thinking of him as I turned my air conditioning up.
And goodbye to you. I will come over and live in your house, Max. Just to have that nice AC. Just to have
Yes.
that nice
Sweet
And
AC.
stands for Alan Collins, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but is it Babylon Berlin or Berlin Babylon?
Babylon,
It's
Berlin.
Babylon,
I think is
Berlin,
right.
yeah.
I watched it a number of years ago. I thought
Okay.
it was a terrific show.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, really, really good. And anybody who wants to stream that is encouraged to do so. That's very
I've never
noir.
gotten around to it, unfortunately.
It is very noir. Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
and it kind of builds and gets a little bigger as it goes along, and
Yeah.
turns into kind of a widescreen kind of extravaganza. It starts out small, and I like that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
anyway, I've got a few fun things to talk about this week. This is a box set. I think this director-writer as Robert Hossein, but I guess you're supposed to say Robert Hossein, you know. He's probably not watching. He probably won't correct me. This is from Radiance, and it's not brand new. I think it's been out a few months, but
Yeah.
I picked it up on Jay Balik had a sale, and this is a rockin' box set.
Play a wicked game. You know, look at that Obi, too. The only thing about these is because they don't have outside, you know, the you have to put the Obi inside. And I love the Obi I love the Obi, man. So good.
And so
Definitely.
it does
That's
have
what she said, Max.
Yes. Well, sometimes lack of size is an advantage, you know. I won't.
I've
talk
never
about
heard that because I've been.
Yeah, heard that.
People are just trying to preserve my feelings. I was
This
born with
is-
what I was born with. What can I do?
This is kind of a film noir set. There is a movie here called The Taste of Violence that is really an early Euro Western, but it's really kind of more of a noir than a Western. It's about a Mexican revolutionary who they've kidnapped. He and a couple other revolutionaries have kidnapped the president's daughter, and there are arguments along the way as to whether it should be used for political gain or financial gain, and that's interesting because there's that conflict between the three people who are holding this beautiful woman captive, and it just goes on and it builds and it surprises. It's got its own pace, and one thing I would say about Hossein, or however the hell he pronounces it, he's got his own pace. I mean, you have to just go with it, but it always pays off. He doesn't like to tell you at the beginning exactly what's going on, so you got to pay attention. So it's not for stupid people, but I would say all you smart people out there should get this, because
Well, only
absolutely
smart
outstanding.
people watch this show, Max.
I know that. I know
It's a
that.
small group, but dedicated.
But Hossein does most of the writing himself. He usually sometimes has co-writers, but he's a very talented guy, and I don't think he was well regarded as a filmmaker at the time because he's somewhat traditional. These are linear stories, and in the midst of the new wave in France, linear stories are kind of looked down upon. And now he's being reevaluated, and this box set is wonderful. Now, the second one of these movies is a genuine noir called The Wicked Go to Hell, and it's that one, the first one, the Taste of Violence, is 61. This is a little earlier, 1955, and it's really unusual because about the first half of the movie is a prison drama that turns into a prison jailbreak story, and it's all in this prison. And then when they break loose, it becomes a guys on the run, and then they hole up. And when they hole up in this kind of artist's house on the beach, and promptly kind of kill the artist who lives there, he has a beautiful model, and so these two men and this beautiful model are in this one little house on the beach, and don't discount what this beautiful model is going to do to play these fuckers against each other. It's quite delightful, and it's from I don't know this guy, but apparently a fairly well-known, maybe really well-known French crime writer named Frédéric Dard. And Marina Vladi is the wife of, in real life, was the wife at that time of Robert Hussein. And she is a stone fox. And you would gladly, if you were one of those guys, you would gladly kill the other one. There's no question. So now, does that sound like a good time, that movie? And
It does.
It really is. But it's odd because the front half is one movie and the second half is a different movie, which is cool because they're both pretty good movies. You just don't expect them to be.
Like Full Metal Jacket.
Pardon me?
Like
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket.
Absolutely. So the third one is my favorite, and it just might be Rob's favorite if he buys this box set, because it's called Nude in a White Car.
Yay.
Unfortunately, it's not the guy who's nude.
Oh, well.
And the woman, and you're going to love this premise. This guy is, he's walking along the highway at night, walking to his hotel from a restaurant, I believe, and he's kind of at odds. He's just lost his gig as a TV presenter, and he's only in France. He's a TV presenter who specializes in poetry. Right. Okay. We just buy that. And this
Could happen.
white car pulls up, and a beautiful woman in like a trench coat. He can't really see her very well. Says, "Do you need a ride?" And he says, "Well, yeah, I'm heading down to the hotel." And she takes him and takes a turn and goes into kind of the woods. And he's, "What's this about?" And she takes the trench coat off, and you don't get to see her face, but what you get to see is worthwhile.
You could see everything.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem to care that he can't see her face. So and fun and games occur, and then she kicks him out of the car and drives him to leaves in the middle of nowhere. I mean, if that isn't a great beginning of a movie, I don't know what is.
I'm in.
It's so much fun.
Sounds
And-
like my last Saturday.
Well, he gets the license number, so he has enough credibility as this TV presenter or whatever the hell he is to be able to track down what what it is. And he goes to the house, and it's a very nice house, not quite a mansion, but really wealthy people, double story, very wealthy people live here. And there's the white car. And he ends up at the door, and a beautiful blonde enters, doesn't seem to know him. And he asks her about the car, and she doesn't know what that's about, but somehow he gets invited in. And she has a sister who's just as beautiful as she is, but the sister's in a wheelchair. Now, they're both beautiful blondes. The two actresses, again, is this Marina Vladi and her sister, who is Odile Versois, I guess. I'm good at French now. So, but they look quite a bit alike. And since he didn't really see the gal in the car very well, he starts to think one of these two is that babe who balled me in the woods, right? And then he gets offered, and they just are nice to him, and they just kind of chat, and they recognize him, and they like poetry. And so he gets offered a job. They have a record store, and they offer him they're looking for a manager in the record store. And so he then starts to just live with them. And he's trying to figure out, he thinks one of these two women, and he's beginning to suspect maybe the one in the wheelchair really need the wheelchair, and it's just great. I can tell you. So he's kind of a hostage in this one, but by choice. Um, Fabulous movie. I mean, definitely worth the. I mean, who wouldn't want a movie called Nude? And I don't want to know anybody if they don't want to see a movie called Nude in a White Car.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, no.
They're old fuddy-duddies that aren't any fun, Max.
Well, it's great, and I gotta show the box set off a little bit. The Taste of Violence has its own Blu-ray box, and these are Blu-rays, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful, and it has a really nice booklet. Not super long. but very
Radiance's top drawer.
They're great, and also the original poster is on the inside.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Very nice. Dieter would love this box. I don't honestly, if he doesn't already have it. And the other one, which has one side of the box is The Wicked Go to Hell, and that woman is so beautiful. I mean, couldn't believe it. And I mean, she was so beautiful. While I watched it with my wife, I had to pretend that I didn't notice how beautiful this woman was. You know.
Yeah, but your wife did know, Max, and she knew what you were thinking, even though you didn't say it.
But she always
knew.
She always knows what I'm thinking. Nude in a White Car. Look how cool these are. I mean, this is. And then again, in the interior, they've kind of slammed the two posters together.
Wow.
You turn, and this is, take a look at that. I mean this in a very.
However, the two sisters.
There they are, and then look at that gal in bikini. I mean that. Who needs Richard Bardot with this gal around? I mean, she's phenomenal and a great actress, really, really good. And there's an interview with her years later. I don't know, like 40 years later or something, and she's still a stone fox. Just a beautiful woman, and smart. I mean, just anyway, high marks on that box set. Wicked Games.
Wow.
And then another box set, and I'm not one for these fancy box sets, if I don't really like the movie. I think there's some real mediocre stuff being given a real elaborate box and getting outside of my price range for something I think is just kind of a good movie or an okay movie. So let's say these movies are bad. This is a good one. This is 36 hours, and it is one of the best, maybe the best so far of the Hammer noirs. And Dan Duryea, who is such a wonderful actor and is a major noir actor. I mean, he was in things like Chicago Calling and Too Late for Tears and Crisscross. He was often a villain, and he's in westerns. Great actor, and he gets to be the leading man here. And the premise is basically a pilot who's been away for 3 months at some kind of extreme school he had to attend, comes back to meet his wife in Great Britain, who he had met, and they had a wonderful relationship. And when he comes back, he comes into a world of hurt because she's dead, and he's thought to have murdered her. And it's very interesting because it plays off of flashbacks. So this woman is dead, but then you get to see what the romance is. It's very bittersweet. And the two women, and I wasn't familiar with either of these actresses, but these two women are really good. One is named Elsie Albeen, and the other is Anne Gundren. And I think Elsie is a foreign actress of some kind, and I think Anne is a British actress. And there's a somewhat preposterous premise because Duryea has to go to ends up in the apartment of one of these women that he just kind of breaks into to get away from the police, and he has to convince her that he's not a bad guy. And Duryea is kind of comes across not as a good guy, and so we had to believe that, and we do, that she would help him. And both of the women in this movie, including the wife who we meet in the flashbacks, very credible. So you've got a melodrama here, but you've got people acting like human beings in it, and I really really admired that. The movie toward the end gets a little over the top, but this is, I think, the best so far of the Hammer boxes of noir. And boy, they've got all kinds of stuff in here. I mean, the movie is called, by the way, it's 36 hours here, which refers to how much time he has before he has to get back to the military. And in America, it was called Terror Street. Now, you might like to know what the significance of Terror Street has with this film.
I would, Max.
As would I. Nothing. Zero. But boy, the booklet, the Hammer. I mean, these Hammer booklets. I mean, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're books. I mean, look at that spine. So I highly recommend that as well. And keep an eye on these. If you don't collect them all, some of these are really worth having. And I'm hoping that they will release the Saints Girl Friday, which has Lewis Hayward playing the Saint for the second time. He'd been the first Hollywood Saint in the Saint in New York, which is a great crime movie from the late 30s. Then George Sanders took over, and he came back and played it one more time for Hammer, and Diana Dors is in it. And
Hubba hubba.
yeah, that's the correct response.
I got you, pal.
Oh, I should mention about 36 Hours too. The screenwriter is an American screenwriter, and we had a movie here, not that good. Do you remember we did Whispering Smith Hits London?
Yeah.
And Steve Fisher, who wrote I Wake Up Screaming, which is what a great title, he had written that. It's not that good. He wrote this one, and it is good. And he's an interesting guy because he not only wrote I Wake Up Screaming, he wrote things like Dead Reckoning, Lady in the Lake, which is kind of an iffy movie, but it's Raymond Chandler based. That's the one where the camera is you follow through the eyes of the private detective, and it kind of gets old. Johnny Angel, and he wrote novels. He was a big time TV writer. So this is a solid one. Don't be afraid of this one if you got burned on an earlier one, for example. Then on now, this isn't a noir, but it's crime, and this is Trouble in Paradise. This is also, let me get this so it doesn't glow. This is Ernst Lubitsch, and this is a Criterion. This is from the Criterion sale, and it's a 4K, and I don't believe it had been out. I don't believe they'd released it as a Blu-ray.
No,
So
I ordered this as well.
it's a short movie. It's 82 minutes. It is just delightful. It is so good. It is so witty. Herbert Marshall is the lead, and he's very dry and is perfect in the part. There are two women, Miriam Hopkins and Kay Francis, and they're both terrific. And then two kind of stooges, rich stooges, because this is all about theft on the high level, jewel theft and so on. Charlie Ruggles and Edward Everett Horton. And play a game with my wife sometimes where I'll say to her, do I know that actor? And she will say, of course you do. And I say, that's Charlie Ruggles. She said, and I'll say, do I know that actor? Of course you do. Edward Everett Horton.
Let me give you a history about him.
Yeah. I'm glad I have those brain cells left. They're fading, but they're still there. But it's basically, it's a comedy, but it is, there's danger in it. It's definitely a crime drama. But if you've never sampled Lubitsch, because he I think he died in the early 50s or something. So, but he's who Billy Wilder wanted to be when he grew up.
Right.
Basically.
Yep.
And this is a great way to sample him. They also have a box out right now of a bunch of his early sound musicals, and he was very much a pioneer. I mean, you won't believe in Trouble in Paradise that this is a 1932 movie. And you kind of get this feeling, because it's a pre-code movie, you get a kind of glimpse of what movies might have been like if the code hadn't come in. Because there's a thing, like when the titles come on, it goes Trouble in, and then there's a bed. And it lingers on it for a while. And then it goes Paradise. Okay, I don't, we don't want to have
How
to.
immoral! We have to have a code for Hollywood.
Oh, they get away. Everybody gets away with it in this movie. I mean, it's wonderful. So I mean, this is the best bunch of movies I've looked at for a long, long time. Now, I'm going to include something, and Dieter, this is for you, my friend. The Phantom. 1990.
Finally. Slam you,
Finally.
Max.
I was going to bump it one more week, but I thought you might come looking for me if I did. I love this movie. This movie
Me too.
is one of the best comic strip movies. Now, I'm not saying comics. I'm talking comic strip movies. Like
Yeah, no, I mean, and this was part of the whole trend when they did like the Phantom. They did
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy. They did the Saint, but
Brenda
that's
Starr.
not comic strip. And they did Brenda Starr. Yeah, and the thing is, I always talk about pop culture having a 20-year lifespan. The problem is that these movies were out of that 20-year lifespan. So a lot of modern audiences didn't know the films, and I think that they were like, I love The Phantom as well. I mean, The Rocketeer was an original based on Dave Stevens' comic, but that too had kind of the same vibe. And The Rocketeer is a wonderful movie. This is, as a matter of fact, The Rocketeer and The Phantom make a great double feature, and you really get a great sense. And this 4K is dope. It looks great, but
it looks really good. And what I like about it more than anything is it's not camp. It doesn't take itself super seriously. It has some fun. It winks at you now and then, but it doesn't go over the top. It takes itself seriously, and it
stays consistent tonally.
I agree. And the director Jeffrey Boehm is Australian, and he did some good things. I mean, this is the guy. A lot of it was in TV. He did Lonesome Dove.
Yep.
I mean, that's considered to be one of maybe the best, certainly the best Western miniseries. There's no question. And he did all of the, I think, young Indiana Jones stuff, and he did a lot of good TV movies. And I mean, this was a talented director. It just looks great. It's very faithful to the strip, and it's a long-running comic strip. It's running to this day. My sometime collaborator, Terry Beatty, was the Sunday page artist for, I don't know, 5 years or so.
Wow.
So I have an original Phantom that he drew. The first two artists were great, Ray Moore and Wilson McCoy, and they had they weren't like Alex Raymond realistic. They really had a beautiful touch with the fantasy element of the Phantom. So I highly recommend it. My hunch on why it didn't do as well as it should have is that it doesn't have a wonderful score. If this had a Indiana Jones level score, I wouldn't have to be telling people it's good.
Right.
Dietz, I know you love this movie. Do you agree with me on that at all? It's perfunctory.
Certainly. And for me, it was just a feeling, considering it's like we say, a perfect coffee and cake movie for me.
Oh yeah.
I know it well. I can easily watch it while put my fork into my cake, and considering now I lost my train of thought, and I got real animals, no CGI animals.
Right.
And that's a big plus for me with the Phantom.
Well, also it's a pretty darn good cast.
Yeah.
I really when you see this movie, you wonder why. What's his name? The lead. Tell me.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Why he didn't have a bigger career. I mean, he's quite good. Because he doesn't kid the character at all.
No, and he was the villain kind of in Titanic.
He was a villain.
He had one of my favorite lines in any movie ever in Titanic, which is, "I know you are melancholy. I don't presume to know why." Every time he says it, I'm floored every time.
Well, he
And,
made
and,
me like
and for me, perhaps like you, Max, here's one of my favorite lines in the fandom. What is this? A ship of women? Full of women?
That was a good line. And I just think that the whole cast is good. Christy Swanson, who is
Yeah.
the first Buffy, she
Vampire
invents Buffy and then doesn't benefit from it. That's so sad. And Treat Williams,
Yep.
who usually who's a great villain, and he usually is a hero. I thought he was charming in that, and villains aren't always charming. And of course, our friend Rob, the great actor from Crime Story and from True Noir,
You mean Bill Smitrovich,
Bill Smith.
who was at the front of this show?
That's the very one, and he's also in one of my favorite TV shows is the Nero Wolf TV show,
Yeah.
and with I can't even, my brain isn't working on that. I wasn't on that track, but he's Lieutenant Kramer in that show, and it's also another show that knows how to do period without kidding it. You can recognize that you're doing period, and wink at the viewer, but please don't camp it up, because
Right.
it doesn't, and please have a real story. That's what's wrong with Dick Tracy. I say this is the guy who wrote Dick Tracy for 15 years and had to write the novelization of that movie. You should have a story.
Go
Try to have
figure.
a story.
You think somebody would, right?
Yeah. Well, there's the tip-off in Dick Tracy is that there's about a 3-minute montage of action, which is about the only action in the movie. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's got a machine gun and he's hitting this guy. Well, put it in a context of a fucking story. I don't know. It drives me crazy. So anyway, that was for DIETER.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah, and
I
heartfelt.
always remember getting the Phantom on Laserdisc, and I love the
It's a great
5.1 track
Laserdisc,
that the
isn't it?
Laserdisc had.
I like that nice big thing. Now,
Yeah.
a little point of privilege. This is not a crime thing. It's not a mystery thing. You and I talked about this, Rob, a little bit. One of my favorite movies, my favorite comedy movies, maybe my favorite comedy movie, is Start the Revolution Without Me, with Gene Wilder and Donald Sutherland. Now, Wilder is coming off The Producers, and Sutherland is coming off of MASH. They could have been the greatest comedy team of their generation. They never appeared together again, to my knowledge. And they're wonderful together in this. And it's a takeoff on the Corsican brothers. So they're playing twins that are separated, and it's very, very funny. The cast is amazing. Hugh Griffith, who plays the befuddled king. Victor Spinetti, who's wonderful in a lot of British movies. Orson Welles does the wraparound. Ewa Allen, who was Candy. I think you may remember her as Candy, Rob.
Yep.
And anyway, I'm not going to talk about this at length, but just this is my favorite comedy, and it's the kind of comedy that generates running for us. We probably have half a dozen lines from this movie that we use all the time, and the movie is over 50 years old.
Well, I want to point out that this is another George Feltenstein banger coming from
Oh, yeah.
Warner Archive. Again, look at the class. You've got the original artwork, and look at what a great cover. And I'm sure the transfer, like all Warner Archive titles, is just spectacular.
Well, it's a case in point. All these fancy boxes seldom compare to what George puts out just by loading up the disc with a lot of great bonus features,
Yeah.
cartoons and shorts and commentaries, and it's really The play is the thing. And by the way, this movie has a great score. Speaking of the disappointing score of The Phantom, it's not a bad score, but it's not a banger. This score is by John Addison, who did all kinds of stuff. He did Tom Jones, for example. And this is the kind of movie that when I saw that this was being released and I looked at it, the score began to play in my brain.
Uh-huh.
It just immediately triggered it. Now, if you have a movie, and I'm not talking about any, I mean, yes, we all do that with Indiana Jones and Star Wars, but if you have a movie that isn't, famous like that, and you look at that disc and the theme starts playing in your brain, you love that movie.
Yeah, I have to say too that another movie that came out from Warner Archive that I love, another comedy, is Private Benjamin.
Yeah.
With Goldie Hawn. And the last time I watched Private Benjamin was on like HBO, showed up on HBO, and the transfer was terrible. It looked like they had made the transfer 25 years ago, and they probably had. So I can't wait to get both of these discs. Now that I don't know when the Warner Archives discs actually get released, because it's hard to find.
Hard to tell.
It's hard to tell unless, now they switched over the distribution of all these review copies of movies, not just Warner Archive, but all of them. And it's you have a quota system. And but yeah, I want both of these films. I want Private Benjamin and this one, because I saw this movie in the 70s, and I've never seen it again. And I remember really liking it when I was a kid. So probably didn't understand it, but I liked it.
Start the Revolution Without Me is literally a late 60s movie, and it kind of anticipates things like Airplane and all those kind of movies. And yeah, it's not a perfect movie. It's like all those movies from that era that were comedies. It ends with a endless chase. All the movie posters always had the whole cast chasing somebody, and those that, and I would kind of like groan when the last reel kicked in, because like, oh yeah, at least these are kind of fun. All the things they do are funny, and you continue laughing. But we should mention that the producer is Norman Lear, of all people, and his partner Bud Yorkin is the director. And one of the funny,
and by the way, Bud Yorkin went on to produce Blade Runner.
I mean, talent is talent. So, and Orson Welles, it's really funny because he begins as the on-screen narrator. Then it switches to another narrator, and then he comes back at the end and is on screen. So Orson worked for a day, okay? But it's a glorious day. It's a glorious day because there's something about just having him, and they shot on all these real sets. And you've got and Orson Welles is there, and and there's just a gravitas to it that is hilarious. So anyway, not a crime movie, not a noir. I know two people who would enjoy it.
Well, you've got us, Max, and we've got you. Well, I want to thank you for being here and giving us any news from the Sea Wing this week. Anything that should be reported.
I thought you might bring it up, but our fireworks show didn't go well.
Uh-oh.
No, our 4th of July fireworks. No, in fact, Raoul was smoking back by the shed where we keep it, and suddenly, no more fireworks. Also, no more Raoul.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Sometimes those big all-in-one demolitions, like what happened in San Diego a couple of years ago, and there was a misfire and all the fireworks were set off at once. It's pretty dope. I mean, you just hope you don't get the fragments of people on you when that happens.
Well, I can literally say that my wife always laughs a lot when some car loaded down with fireworks blows up. That's one of her favorite things. One of her favorite things.
Well, you married the right woman, Max.
Yes.
Let me see if anybody if
go for the super chats, because I think there were some stuff that is directed to Max.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I just want to see. Let's see. Hitchhiker 42 says, I just got the Highlander 4K box set from Studio Canal. Yeah, I have the original one. It's great, and looking forward to Logan's Run. And I got my Star Trek The Motion Picture one sheet. What's the best way to preserve it?
Nice.
Well, I would assume you bought that from us. The best way to deal with folded one sheets that are old, that are pre-85, and Star Trek The Motion Pictures is 1979, is to get them what's called linen-backed. And there's a company that I have never dealt with personally, but I watch their videos on social media called 4-Cone Restoration. And you can actually watch the process. That Star Trek The Motion Picture poster was in really good condition. It was very crispy. But still, what you want is when you watch 4-Cone Restoration, what they do is they literally give your poster a bath. They put it in water, believe it or not, liquid. It makes the paper inert. They take the acid out of the paper, and then they adhere it reversibly to literally a piece of fabric that they have in a frame, it's like canvas, and they squeegee it down, and it looks incredible when they do it. Now most of the time you won't even see the folds. If you want, they will touch up where any of the ink is fallen off the paper, because for those of you who are wondering, I was able to get a cache of posters from a friend of mine that actually worked at the National Screen Service Corporation. And I've been trying to get him from him for 45 years. And he finally just called me and said, come to Seattle, bring a truck and get them. And so I have been, every week we've been dropping more stuff. We drop science fiction and horror, James Bond, Alfred Hitchcock. We did musicals this week. There's an incredible poster for... Major Chai pointed out, Thoroughly Modern Millie, that's painted by Bob Peake. It's beautiful, beautiful poster. So a lot of the choice stuff, I mean, there's still a lot of great stuff to come, but we've sold hundreds of items, and it's been great. But 4-Cone Restoration, they're on the internet. You can see their videos. It's actually a female-owned company in Canoga Park, and they do good work, but I think they're backed up. But that would be the best way to preserve it. And once you have a poster that's linen backed, getting it framed, it's beautiful. And you should always frame your posters under UV plexi so they don't fade in the light. It's a little bit more expensive, but if you're going to get a poster linen back, which I think one sheets cost $175 to back, which depending on what, like if you've got $1,000 poster, or I was just looking at one of the posters that I found in the collection was a Ninochka insert from 1948 with Greta Garbo. No, I'm not putting that up for sale. I kept it for myself. but something like that is absolutely worth getting linen backed.
I can say too.
Justin Toner has been a member for 64 months. Justin Toner also says, hello, Rob and Dieter. I went to my local Barnes & Noble for the Criterion sale and grabbed 4Ks of Stray Dog, Point Blank, and Life of Brian. Nice pickups.
Nice.
Danzig 1979, member for 30 months. Thank you, Danzig. 8-Bit Sight says, did Max catch Spider Noir with Nicolas Cage? Max, did you watch that?
My son and I watched it.
And?
Looks good.
And
Okay.
I'm a fan of The Star, and I was predisposed to like it, and I know a lot of people like it, and I don't want to rain in the parade, but I'm
say it, Max. Sixth.
Well, it bugs me when people who aren't really familiar with noir, for example,
Yeah.
try to write it, and it always is just so tone deaf and tries so hard that it just I can't abide it.
That's why when I make noir projects, I get
Who do you
people.
go to?
You know who I go to, Max? I go to you. And I don't
To eat
just
the sweet
say,
stuff.
if I have 10 episodes, I don't get a writing staff.
Okay,
I just go to you.
take me full screen for a second.
Oh, wait, are you going to take off your... What are you going to do? Hang on.
Chandler. That's Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett, James M. Cain, and Mickey Spillane.
Wow. I thought you
And
were going
if
to do something.
anybody who was working on that Spider Noir show knows who those people are, let alone has ever read their work, I'm surprised.
Yeah, they haven't.
So,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I never wanted to because I bought Amazing Fantasy 15 off the newsstand. I mean,
Yep.
I've been a Spider-Man fan for a long, long time. My grandson's a stone Spider-Man fan. My son is, and my son and I watched the first 2 episodes. And the first episode, when it was over, I said, "Let's try the second one. It's going to be better." It wasn't. But it looks great. But now in this day and age, everything should look great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of other shows, Major Chicha asks, have you seen the noir series Sugar, the modern noir with Colin Farrell?
Didn't like that either.
What?
My wife and I watched both of them. He's kind of good, but the character is so overloaded. It's just like he's got more ticks than a hound dog. I mean, I can't abide it. They try too hard. Just do it. Just do it. If you want to see how this is really done, my friend Robert Burnett directed a 10-part audio series.
Really?
Quite authentic as to what noir actually is. In fact, it is so authentic that someone decided to call it true noir.
And I'm going to see Nathan Heller tomorrow. I'm going to Michael Rosenbaum's house.
He sent me a beautiful
watch
photograph of himself with the disc, and he's very pleased.
Oh, did he get his CD? You know who doesn't have a CD? Me.
Oh, did I forget to send you one?
I don't have
No, I sent it to you. It just hasn't come yet.
Yeah, it hasn't come yet. It's okay. I owe people CDs of the soundtrack and the Blu-ray and all that. Working on that. It's fine. So I'm glad he has his. He must be stoked.
Let me just say that when you're talking to somebody like me about this stuff, God bless you if you enjoy it. I mean, I don't want to rain on your parade. And if it becomes your entry into what I do, great. But don't expect me to like it.
The Grandmaster has other standards.
Yeah.
Paul Bernardo says, hello, Rob, Dieter, and Max. To let you know, Black Creek Retribution, that's our favorite lady. The Kickstarter campaign made over $102,000, as Sonia and I will be working on it, and we start shooting on October 5th.
Nice.
There you go. And
there's room for improvement.
And who is starring in that, Dieter?
Cynthia Rothrock.
Cynthia Rothrock, who's been on this show. Richard Curtis. Richard Curtis is here. He sends in a $20 super chat, a 20-pound super chat. And he says, although I'm not the Richard Curtis, see, don't shatter my illusions. In my mind, you are. You are there is no other Richard Curtis other than you. So there you go. Although I'm not the Richard Curtis, if I was to write a sequel to Love Actually, I'd cast you, Rob, and Mac, as well as Dieter, as the band to rival Bill Nye. That would be, oh my God. He's still alive. We could take him on. Christmas is all around us. Off tangent, but that's my ballpark. I'll take it. Richard goes on to say, having just watched Rumble in the Bronx, it reminded me of why I think Death Proof is an underrated Tarantino classic. Real dumb people doing real dumb shit. I can't say if I disagree.
I like that movie.
Jim Watari asks, will there ever be a restored version of The Secret of Nim? 1982, that was Don Bluth's big breakout movie based on the novel. I would hope so. I love that movie. I hope so. We don't know anything yet, but maybe, because there's some other Don Bluth stuff that's been coming back, and we'll see. Richard Curtis. Oh, you know what? Did you put him up for this, Max? Because Richard Curtis says, sorry if I missed it, but did Mac's grandson like Dr. No?
He liked it very much, Rob, and he liked For Much With Love even more, and he liked Goldfinger even more.
Of course, because
Ooh.
Doctor knows a
Here's
bore.
the conundrum.
Yeah, Rob.
Here's the
Exactly.
conundrum. See, I'm a big fan of You Only Live Twice. Do I show him Thunderball, or do I jump to You Only Live Twice?
Why would you
Thunderball-
not show him Thunderball?
It's pretty long.
Yeah.
The underwater stuff is a slog.
Dude, not when you're a kid.
Well, that's
You
a
would-
long time ago for me to remember.
Well, when you're a kid, Thunder. First of all, I mean, he always runs while others walk.
Well, it's a great theme. It's a great theme song, and the silly opening with the, going up in the sky with the.
He strikes while other men just talk.
You've sold me.
Thunderball comes full widescreen, Max. No, full
Yeah,
adventure.
bro, it's the first widescreen Bond.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's got chicks named Domino. It's got a boat that comes apart.
jetpack.
Bro,
Yeah, he got
come
the
on.
point.
By the way, do you know what I did acquire in my own poster sale?
Do I want to know?
A 40 by 60 of You Only Live Twice.
I love that movie. My
That
wife and I
poster
sat
is
through it
one of the
twice.
great posters of with Bond hanging off the roof of the volcano base.
Well, the other poster, which is Bond with all the beautiful women.
Yeah, I took a window card of that. That's from You Only Live Twice as well. Yeah, when he's in the bath with all the Japanese chicks.
And that's by Robert McGinnis,
Yep.
who did about 8 of my covers.
Yeah, I know. No, he's a hero of mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to him on the phone once, and that's when I said how much I loved the cover of my novel, The Last Quarry. I said,
Yeah.
I just love that painting. He said, what's your address?
Oh man, I'll tell you. Let's see. Bo Edmonds says, I really want 20th Century Studios to release their classic film noirs. I have been matching many on the Movies channel. Yeah, they've done nothing with their library. It's really frustrating.
A lot of them they released on those. They're nice DVDs, but
Yeah,
we can
but
do
they're
better.
not.
Do better.
This is not what I wanted. We're good, so we're caught up. Max, I guess that means we're going to bid you farewell. By the way, I had 3 sheets, my old poster collection that I sold to the third floor, the Hollywood production company.
Right.
All my big paper that I'm sad because my movie poster collection was for what I had was incredible. It was it was $100,000 movie poster collection, but I sold the whole thing because I needed. This was back in the 2000s. But I've been with this poster collection. There's just things in it that I have now acquired again. I have to get them linen backed and framed. But in terms of the Bond stuff, I got You Only Live Twice, the 40 by 60. I got on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I got that 3-sheet back, which is 41 by 81 inches. And then I got inserts, and I got window cards of a lot of. I got a Thunderball, an original Thunderball insert that I used to have. So,
Well, one thing I'd like to say before I go is that I had some of that kind of stuff when I was fairly young. I mean, maybe the first 5 years of my marriage, and I had a wall that in the basement that you could just pin stuff to. And so I had some really valuable things. I had all the Dick Tracy posters from the 1940s. And they're just kind of on the wall, and people would bump into them, and they had pinholes and all this stuff. Well, one of them was Gun Crazy, which is an incredible, one of my favorite movies, and an incredibly expensive poster.
if you can even find one.
You can find one. And it was kind of a little bit, wasn't terrible, but I knew it needed work. When I had it linen backed by professionals who restored it,
Yep.
I think you saw it on the wall in my house.
Yeah, I did.
And it looks phenomenal. And you can put your face right up to places where you knew there was a problem, and you cannot discern it. So that linen back process and having the restoration done, really, if you've got something that is a poster that's maybe a 7 and you wish it were a 10, you can make it a 10.
Well, again, there's a couple of places here in town that do restoration stuff, and I recommend, like, all the posters. By the way, if you want to check out what's left in our poster sale, we're putting up new stuff every Friday, so we're always adding to it, and we still have thousands of more pieces to add. But you can go to eBay and go to Find Your Niche, the eBay store, Find Your Niche. And underneath that, there is an RMB's Imagination Connoisseurs sub-store within Find Your Niche. I teamed up with somebody he's a 100% eBay seller, and he handles all the logistics of everything. And I go in and I pick out all the drops and pick out all the posters that we're going to put up. But if you will get your stuff very, very quickly, and it comes very well, and we ship worldwide. A lot of people are asking, if I live in England. A guy he scored, I think he bought 3 Bond inserts, and great deal. I think he got this on Her Majesty's Secret Service insert and a few others, and they're great. And the collection of, mostly, if the stuff was uncirculated, it had never gone. The quality, especially the lobby cards, are just pristine mint. Some of the larger posters, like 40 by 60s and stuff, were used, but again, you can get those linen back. But like Max said, linen backing these posters, you can make them look incredible. And it depends how much it's expensive to get them linen back, depending on how big they are. But if you go to Four Cone Restoration, it's got its own YouTube channel, it's got its own Instagram feed, and they'll show you the process. They'll show you restoring. I don't like posters restored. I don't want anyone drawing on my posters or anything like that, because that does diminish the value of a poster. But if something is torn, a lot of the time that can be desirable. Like, I have a torn poster that I want to get fixed, but they can do amazing things during the restoration process.
They can.
So,
by the way, I'd like to emphasize, I mentioned 2 things I didn't like. Spider Noir and Sugar, and I don't mean to harsh anyone's mellow, because if you like those, like them away. I mean, who am I to judge? But I want to mention something I really liked, and my wife liked it, and I would bet if you guys have seen it, you will probably liked it. Widow's Bay.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I've seen Widow's Bay.
Incredible series.
I just finished the historical flashback episode 6.
Well, we had a situation where my son and his family were gone for the weekend, and they were doing a trip. They were driving straight back from Texas, 12-hour trip. We were so nervous, and we sat down and we binged that show, and we watched it. We did not watch the whole thing, but I think we watched 8 of 10 episodes.
Yeah.
They're not hour-long episodes. They're like 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
30 to 40.
I think that's the best thing I've seen in a long time.
Well, I just love the fact that every episode was delving into a different genre of horror. I loved, like, the Wicker Man, Blair Witch.
Yeah. You have supernatural stuff.
The party episode when she throws the party.
It's the best Halloween sequel ever made.
So good.
So it's phenomenal. And the other thing I really liked about it is they would introduce a secondary character, even a third-dairy character, and they'd pop enough that they get in your in your consciousness, but you kind of dismiss them as comedy relief or whatever. Then they give him an
inn owner as an example.
Yes, and they bring him center stage, and they've got a whole life And that's unusual, man. That's real. Kudos to these folks. I mean, so I can be pleased.
Okay. It's tough to do, but it can be done.
It can be done. Gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here,
Thanks
man.
for being here, Max.
Great to have you.
And thanks
both
for
back.
slamming evil.
All right. We will see you later, Max. And that is,
See you next
ladies and
week.
gentlemen, the great Max Allen Collins. Well, Dietz, you know what? I'm going to ask you to do the live chat because I am going to go up.
Okay.
I hear the dogs barking. Elizabeth's gone, and I want to make sure it's all good. So give me
Then
a minute, and I will. I'm turning it over to
Do
you.
that.
I won't
first.
leave you
Okay.
hanging. I just have to go up and see what's going on there.
Yeah. I have stuff to talk about still.
All right.
You know, the big one is
It's
still
all about you.
coming. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media, which means 14 days back, we start with David Rose. The Furious is the best action film of the summer. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it, but it will get released on digital on Tuesday. David Rose. Then we have Mission Codes. I talk about my favorite German every day to the local authorities. Okay. Albedal, Dieter's looking cool despite the heat. Trying to look cool. The Alex Sorber. Dieter, I thought you had been arrested for some of the films in your collection. Probably just around the corner. And he goes on, the Alex Sorber. Good reviews. Critics have lost the very little credibility they had. They have almost zero pull in this age. Major Chai Chai. As a kid, I would hope that my bus would drop me off in time for me to watch He-Man. Drew Gordon. I defend Disclosure Day. Fortunately, still haven't seen that one. Mission Codes. They may be masters of the universe, but they are novices at the box office. Am I right, guys? Yeah. On that front, you are. But I'm still somewhere, don't lie, I'm still hoping perhaps we will get the sequel, even if it failed at the box office. Mas Hussein. Kung Fu Hustle has crazy over-the-top fight scenes, but they're brilliantly done and a lot of fun. They certainly were. Dark Hero fan. Hokum was good. And he continues. Hokum was fun in the theater. Yeah, I pretty much enjoyed Hokum. 2 for me. It's the 3 out of 3 for Damien McCarthy. Can't wait what he's been cooking up next. Brian Hepburn. Logan's Run is still one of my most favorite movies. And Adventure Square continues. Speaking of best theater experience, watching Logan's Run with my dad is way up there. Roy Kirk. Very interesting is that my daughter, who's only 19, considers Logan's Run one of her favorites. Ever since she and I watched it for the first time, she's eagerly wanting a 4K of it. She will be getting later this year. And Major Chaija says, my best movie-going experience was seeing Jurassic Park. My friend was an assistant manager at the theater. He let my friends and I in after the theater closed and ran the movie for us. Michelle, BGH, I still have my first Sony BDP S1 in a closet, as well as my Toshiba HD DVD player. Michelle, you and I park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay because I still have my Toshiba HD DVD player too. And Brian Hepburn, I still have my HD DVDs. Come here in our shuttle bay. And Geek Omelette says, I was part of the Blu-ray versus HD DVD marketing battle when I worked at Sony, but sad to say, Sony purchased the victory and bribed the win. Oh, otherwise they couldn't have won the battle. BCH2, I showed the Mila Jovovich movie Protector 14 days ago, and he says, Miller makes a movie and I watch it. It's that simple, really. Exactly. It's that simple. Altmetall says, the Joan of Arc 4K, at least from the box set, looks terrific, and I would assume that one is the same transfer. I would just assume that because it's Sony 2. One Mr. Jim says, yes, Dieter. Uwe Boll does great commentaries. It's why I buy his DVDs. even when the movie is terrible, his commentary redeems it. I totally agree with you on that, and we will get to his movie a little bit later. The Alex Sorba Avatar makes me go nap time. I can certainly see that. And here is a nice one. I don't know if Rob is still back because Rob scolded me 14 days ago about me. I'm not sure about those Solaris and Stalker releases from Film Juwel. And he says, what? You don't trust your German company? At Altmetall, in the live chat said, Film Juwelen is not always very reliable with reference to the transfer. So thank you, Altmetall, for backing me up there. And
Don't
of course,
tell
Max
Thomas
was here.
Logan that. Thomas Logan will say, these are the releases
Yeah,
of the year.
I know. I'm just saying, Rob. Altmetall says Film Juwelen is not always very reliable. So
Well,
fingers
I mean,
crossed.
dude,
they
I
will
pre-ordered
do a good-
him. I pre-ordered him.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, Rob, they will do a good job. And of course, we had Max talking a lot of James Bond. And of course, we had a lot of people chiming in. 007 is always big. Does Plato? Octopussy is the best movie because it has cobras, a yo-yo buzzsaw, women in bodysuits, and the German Autobahn. Exactly. You and I park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay. Liam Neeson's Shin. Octopussy had some incredible serious moments. Remember when Bond shot that young Russian soldier in the head? Yeah. And real Thomas Logan, Octopussy is very underrated. Ryan Knight. Robert, Dieter, and Max, if you are interested in watching cricket, T20 Blast Cricket is available on YouTube this year. But sorry, Brian, I don't think cricket is for me. Stubble McShave. Moonraker is a great Bond movie until it reaches its midpoint. Then it's nonsense. Another movie that went to space to follow the coattails of the Star Wars craze. Like Rob always told us, Bond were setting trends and then it started following trends. Handello. I heard the show was on hiatus for the past few weeks because of Deed's high salary demands. Glad to see the boys got to an agreement. I don't have high salary demands. I only have low temperature demands. That's the only thing I have. Major Chai Chai. I tried to watch Widow's Bay. Struggled to get through the first episode. Well, you see, Max had a glowing review for it. Paul in Long Beach says, cheers everyone. Rob and Dieter, you guys rock. And Double McShave asked, isn't the mini helicopter in You Only Live Twice called Nelly? I may remember wrong, but H.V. Christodot says, yes, Little Nelly was it called. And Mas Hussein says, make Bond great again. H.V. Christodot, Bullet in the Head is so good, I could rewatch it right now. And considering my purchases, Sticky Holmes, serious panda trash right there. And Altmetall, Dieter's always getting the real goods. Paul in Long Beach, so Dieter is ordering Skinemax movies now because I showed horrible high heels last week. I think it's probably about that one. And Paul in Long Beach goes on, oh wait, he's been doing it for years. And BCH says, seems like a weekly thing. Richard Curtis, that American monster Dieter has looks a little bit like the Q, the Winged Serpent. Is that the German title? Exactly, Richard Curtis. It is the German title. American Monster is the German title of Q, the Winged Serpent. And Richard Curtis says, I watched Speed Racer this week. It was all right. Exactly. Max. At the max, it was all right. Mas Hussein says, considering I was thinking Eraser from Arnold was the last big action movie, I was not actually correct. Mas Hussein says, T3 came after, but as a non-sequel, definitely his last big scale action blockbuster.
What about the movie? Wait. What about the movie that was directed by the Korean kid, the Korean director, and it was The Last Stand?
The Last Stand. Just from the size of it, Rob. I think The Last Stand is a little bit smaller. Or am I wrong? Right. Considering Eraser, the big action stuff that's in Eraser, with the plane sequence, and on that type of scale of action. The Last Stand was a little bit actually more down to earth, considering he playing a sheriff. So for me, Eraser is one of those less big spectacles that he.
Well, it depends. Depends how you define that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Dietz. Dietz. Did you get the joint security area 4K from Playon? No, I got the one from Umbrella. It got released a little bit sooner. The Alex Sorber. Second Sight is awesome. I wish they did more film that I personally want instead of catering to their customers. But shouldn't the company do that? Catering to their customers? Jonas Tiger 1000. Speed Racer, the live action, always bored and appalled me. You and I park our shuttlecraft in the same
Wow, you know what?
shuttle bay. The Alex Sorber. I collect the Warner Brothers boxes, but not for a movie like Speed Racer. No. The Alex Sorber. Saw Burbs at the cinema when it came out. I'm good forever. What are you talking about? Burbs is great. And Richard Curtis, only seen Burbs once. I didn't much care for it. What are you talking about, you both? It gets the buzzer. Richard Curtis, considering the Rambo set that I showed last week, still never seen 2, 3, or 5. I like both 1 and 4 quite a bit. So you watched 1 and 4, but never the others, okay? That seems very, very strange. H.V. Christodot, Rambo 5 is the only one I don't like, and I'm a little bit with you there. I think if you can watch The Last Blood a little bit aside, just not as a Rambo movie, because when I watch the movie, I think it's time to get a haircut, and then he got his haircut, and I thought, mate, that's not Rambo anymore. But considering the movie itself, I thought it was actually pretty decent that he couldn't save his knees. I thought this was a ballsy move, actually, considering the 5th one. Real Thomas Logan. Rambo First Blood Part 2 is very underrated. I don't think so, Thomas, because it was the biggest hit of all those movies. And he says, Dietz, you didn't mention the all-new 70mm audio track for Rambo First Blood Part 2. Yeah, there are very many, actually most often 3 or 4 audio options that you have with the new set, but I think a lot of people will go with the new Dolby Atmos tracks. BCH2, love First Blood. The 4th is pretty good. The others, meh. The Alex Sorber, I'll agree that Rambo 2 is far better than 3 and was a blast at the cinema, but still I prefer First Blood's tone and wish they had left it alone. Yeah, but was successful. What can you do? The Alex Sorber wants to know, Monk isn't a digipack. I ordered it and I'm not sure. No, as far as I remember, the Monk sets are not digipacks. Brian Knight, when you watch YouTube videos, do you watch on your computer or your smart TV YouTube app? I actually watch YouTube everywhere. On the TV, at the lab, on my smartphone.
Yeah, me too.
It's ever present. YouTube is ever present. BCH, might have to check out Desert Warrior to see what it's like. Rob had it in the news section, the big flop with Anthony Mackie, and I'm actually looking forward to at least seeing it once, because it was a big budget production. Jesper Nikolai says, evening guys from Denmark, just north of Germany. All the best in the World Cup to Germany. Comes a little bit late, but
sorry.
let's not talk about it. Yeah, let's not talk
bad.
about it. And Jesper Nikolai goes on, I want to love Rennie Harlin's films, but I don't. Just try harder. Come on. And Richard Curtis, I don't think the 4-hour Hateful Eight cut went to Netflix in the UK. I don't know about it. It didn't appear on Netflix German television. I think it was really just an US.
It was done
release.
as episodics. It's 4 episodes.
Yeah. I would really love to seen it. I didn't have the VPN back then. Lord Toth, I have never watched the Speed Racer movie, the cartoon, but not the movie. I'll be disappointed. Check it out. Give it a shot. I think that is one of those movies, love or hate. There's zero middle ground considering Speed Racer. Drew Gordon, Naked Killer rules. I totally agree. And the last one, HV Christodot, I still need to see Strange Days. HV Christodot, what are we doing if you haven't seen Strange Days? What are we doing? Rob, this was the live chat readout from 14 days ago.
Well, all right
So-
then. I think that it's time. It's time to do the news.
Okay.
Would you concur?
Yeah. I take a short break and I give you the floor for the
Well,
news
you
section.
you actually wanted to talk about you sent me a picture of a certain
Yeah,
media
but
book.
not for the news section, Rob. Save it for later. Rob. Save it for later.
Okay, I'll do what you tell me to do. That's all I can do.
But
start
on the other hand, you can show it, Rob. It is a new physical media release that's coming out. You can
Well, I
show
figured
it.
there's a reason you sent it to me. We can showcase
Yeah,
it.
I sent it, but it's not considering a release. It's a specific thing that I will get to a little bit later.
Okay, well, Shout Factory announced their upcoming discs. We've got Charlie Wilson's War in 4K. I remember enjoying this movie, but I only saw it that one time. Philip Seymour Hoffman gives a great performance, obviously. And then we have Aces Go Places. Everyone loves this. Look at this, part of their Golden Princess box sets. Yeah. You got to love that. I love the box, the big box, and it's the whole collection.
Yeah.
So what's not to love? Then they're repackaging. They're doing steelbooks. I wish they had done these first. These are beautiful in terms of. Yeah. I thought Shout Factory's art on these movies was kind of ass, to be honest. And they are going back and they're using the art from the late great artist who just passed, and I forget his name, but you know who he is. Yeah. So you've got Bullet in the Head. We have City on Fire, and we have Peking Opera Blues. These are all beautiful box sets. I would much rather have these than any of the other things. Now, DIETER. Yeah. I thought I was past this, but look at this, bro. Look at this, tell me. 4K box set of the entire Sopranos TV series. I think I got a bust on this, buddy. I think I got to have it. No. What say you?
Could we wait for a price drop, Rob, or is it limited?
Well, I don't know, but I think a price drop. This is HBO and Warner Brothers Home Entertainment plans to release.
Where are we at the price range for it, Rob?
Well, I'm looking at the. Hang on, let me just read. First of all, the set includes an all-new, never-before-seen bonus featurette with creator David Chase, the two-part HBO original documentary Wise Guy, David Chase and the Sopranos, and hours of bonus content, including behind-the-scenes features. How much is this going to retail for? It drops December 8th.
Yeah. My question to you, Rob, are those 4K transfers from was the series shot on film? Or
was it edited? Well, that's a really good question. I bet they cut it on. Yeah, I don't know. That's. I don't know if it's an upscale or whatever.
Yeah,
Debuted in '99, so it could have been.
Okay.
But maybe because it was HBO, it was edited on film. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Or perhaps just in the series, perhaps there was a switch, perhaps. To go from.
Maybe. I don't know. Because then they went to HD.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Everyone hates the packaging. I like this packaging. I think it's cool.
Me too.
It doesn't say anything about the price. This has got to be. This has got to be. What do you think? $299, maybe.
How many discs do you know? How many discs are in the set?
Well, it's 6 seasons.
Yeah.
So, and it's really not that many episodes. Was it 13 episodes a season?
Yeah.
So it's not.
Perhaps 4 discs for every season.
Yeah, 4 discs a season. It looks like.
Yeah. 180. I make it 180.
I'll go higher because it's HBO, but
yeah, I know.
Maybe 250. I don't know. We don't know, but definitely we want it. Kino Lorber is putting out this from 1931, Murder by Clock. Never thought of that as a murder weapon, but it's a pre-code movie, so I'm sure it is a hoot. So what's not to love? And then we have Eddie Macon's Run. Kino Lorber's putting this out. Jeff Kanu's Eddie Macon's Run from 1983, starring Kirk Douglas, John Schneider, Lee Purcell. Lisa Dunsheath, and Leah Aries. I remember when this movie came out, actually. And then we've got another banger from Hammer, The Abominable Snowman of the Himalayas. Another one of their big box sets. How cool is this? These British companies, I don't know if this is a new company or not. They seem to pop up every week. This is from 1-2 Special, is preparing a Blu-ray release of Christian Petzoid's Mirrors number 3 from 2025. I really don't know much about this, but after Laura, a young piano student, miraculously survives a car crash, she awakens in a nearby house in the care of a local woman. As she recovers, Laura begins to integrate herself into the lives of the women and her estranged family. Haunted yet hopeful, Laura and her adoptive family come to find a strange harmony together. However, they cannot outrun the ghosts of the past. Well, that sounds intriguing. Yeah. Don't know anything about it. Then we have, now everybody, this is a movie that I have not seen. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Everyone.
I have not seen either. It's based on that web series or something. I will try it, Rob. I will make a blind buy.
Everyone, yeah. Well, this is the 4K version that's coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's coming out from Vision's Home Video in Britain, and it's a 4K Blu-ray combo.
The better cover artwork. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, it's got audio commentary. It's got an alternate opening, animatics, deleted scenes. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to buy this. So
I hope I won't be lost, considering story-wise, if you haven't seen the web series.
Yeah, I know. So I gotta get it. Then we've got Tiki Tiki coming out from Canadian International Pictures. This is from 1971. And a Canadian film called Tiki Tiki from 1971. An unclassifiable animated scene from the director of Heavy Metal. A group of monkeys, including a director loosely inspired by Dennis Hopper's Easy Rider persona, struggle through various trials and tribulations while making an epic adventure film in this psychedelic and satiric look at Hollywood counterculture in the early 70s. Well, count me in. Count me in. Then, of course, you already have this because you showed it, but we've got the American Shudder release of Whistle on Blu-ray. Nice. Then we go over to Vinegar Syndrome.
Perhaps, considering my Italian, perhaps this has more special features. I would assume.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Then we go to Vinegar Syndrome. They're releasing Abel Ferrara's Body Snatchers. Where are you going to go when there's no one left like you? I like this movie. I might pick this up. And then, of course, Frank LaLoggia, director of Fear No Evil, The Lady in White. I think this is probably his best movie. Might pick that up. Yeah. And then we've got I'm Gonna Get You Sucka. You know, if you like these parody movies, this is one of the best. Although, that's debatable if you don't like it or not. They're also putting out an early Night School, an early slasher from the 80s. And then there's this thing, The Ultimate Degenerate. And I look at that and I'm like, what is The Ultimate Degenerate? I used to think it was me. Yeah. Clearly it is not. The Ultimate Degenerate. Few filmmakers epitomize the aesthetics of vintage Times Square cinema better than Michael Finley. Often collaborating with his wife Roberta, who served as cinematographer and occasional actor alongside him, the couple created sick and sordid classics which still retain their power to shock. Released at the end of their 60s streak of unforgettable roughies, which included the notorious Flesh trilogy, this set of sleaze classics has been newly restored in 4K from their original camera negatives by Distrapix and Something Weird, replete with in-depth extras, including a fresh conversation with Roberta Finley herself. Michael Finley plays Richard Davis in 1,000 Pleasures, where fresh from murdering his wife, he gets caught disposing of his corpse and is promptly abducted to a remote seaside house by a group of man-hating lesbians. Okay, let me read that one more time. Michael Finley plays Richard Davis in 1,000 Pleasures, where, fresh from murdering his wife, he gets caught disposing of her corpse and is promptly abducted to a remote seaside house by a group of man-hating lesbians. Count me in. Forced into becoming their slave, Richard is soon subjected to all manner of depravity and torture, the likes of which he never even imagined. Okay, I'm buying that. I'm done. and then I don't even know what this is. Scobie Malone.
Never heard of it.
This comes from the American division of Umbrella. A long overlooked piece of 70s Australian crime cinema, Scobie Malone is a stylish blend of murder mystery, political intrigue, and saucy entanglements. Jack Thompson stars as the charming yet tough Sydney detective, Scobie Malone, whose latest case leads him from poolside patios to corridors of power. When a woman is found dead at the Sydney Opera House, Malone uncovers a dangerous web of corruption, blackmail, and deception. With a catchy theme song, a steamy romance, and a plot packed with twists, this adaptation of John Clary's Helga's Web captures the era's freewheeling energy while delivering a sharp police procedural. Well, that sounds good to me.
And hopefully some new thing, Rob, as the cover suggests.
Well, dude, no. Let's talk about our next one. Barbed Wire Dolls. Another Jess Franco film. Love him or hate him. One of the notorious Eurosleaze auteur Jess Franco and producer Erwin C. Dietrich's most shocking films. 1976's Barbed Wire Dolls is the ultimate unholy women in prison exploitation opus. In it, Franco favorite and lifelong muse Lena Romay stars as the wide-eyed Maria, an unfortunate young woman who kills her father, played by Franco in a delirious flashback sequence. In self-defense after he attempts to rape her, she's tried, sentenced, and shipped off to what is perhaps the grisliest, greasiest, and most depraved women's penitentiary in screen history, where at the hands, fingers, and fists of psychotic lesbian warden Monica Swin, the Duke of Burgundy female vampire, she and her fellow inmates are subjected to an endless onslaught of perverse psychological and sexual abuse, filled to the gills with sex, sapphic erotica, copious amounts of female nudity, and offensively staged scenes of genital humiliation. This sleazy Franco masterpiece will rattle your cage in the sweetest way. Bro. Click
You
that
got me at hello.
Click that pre-order. Barbed Wire Dolls.
Oh, yeah. Prisoners in
okay.
a barbaric camp of sadistic perverts.
And then if Barbed Wire Dolls is not your thing,
Yeah.
Sony Pictures is going to bring you The Swan Princess. Of course,
What a
this
double
is
feature.
this is the animated film, so you can get that in 4K. And then we have James L. Brooks' totally forgotten movie, I'll Do Anything, from 1994, if that's something that you want. And then, of course, the disc I think every person in the world's going to buy, the 4K of Obsession is coming out to fill your collection. So what's not to love?
The question is actually, will the 4K on physical media be the uncensored version too?
Well,
Will it be
let me
Netflix?
read the description and answer this
Okay.
question for you. Let me just say there's a lot here. With an A cinema score and a certified fresh and a verified hot Rotten Tomato scores anchored by standout performances. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what there's an audio commentary track. It's in Dolby Vision. It does not say anything about which version.
Okay. We'll
So-
see it. We'll see about that.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's a good question to ask. Yeah. And then, of course, something I will not be buying, but maybe some people will be happy about.
Okay.
The complete He-Man. The Power of Grayskull is yours. You can get the original Power of Grayskull. There it is. You can have it all if that's what you want. And just in time for the sequel, Practical Magic. The first one's coming out on 4K. You know you want it. I'm going to pick this one up. Not this one, the next one. The Arrival 10th Anniversary Steelbook. Oh my God, I'm getting so old. I will die soon. I love this movie. Can't wait to get it. I'll get this Steelbook. Then we have the Ginger Snaps Trilogy. Obviously, this was released by Second Sight. And then, of course, Lionsgate just released the first one. Lionsgate Limited.
And,
so
and
that's-
this run, Rob, as far as I know, it's the same. Only the first one is in 4K.
oh, is that
the
true?
two-
Oh, well then there you go.
As I think if I read it correctly, only the first.
Yeah,
one
it says
is
4K. That makes sense. All right. Then we have the anniversary of Flight or United '93.
Oh, nice.
So I like
Great
this movie a lot. Really well done movie. Depressing, but really well done. And you can play it every 9/11. It's like a Christmas movie. And then you have Pillion that I haven't seen, but Alvaro said it was a great movie and it's really gay. So I'm looking forward to this because I'm gay adjacent.
Is
But
that the movie with Alexander Skarsgård?
Yes. This deals with little rough trade B&D, master and commander kind of a relationship. You know what I mean? Sub and Dom. Yeah, bring it on. I'll see this. I want to see it. It's A24 special edition. Get it off their website. Then we have Roadhouse. Via Vision is doing a new limited edition steelbook in hard case with a poster. So Vinegar Syndrome did this. Now Via Vision's doing it. Yeah. Come on, what's not to love? Then we have a movie called Seven Snipers, which stars Tim Roth.
I've seen that movie. Yeah. I bought it digitally. Unfortunately, direct-to-video stuff, Rob.
Was it good? Oh, it's not good.
Mediocre.
Well,
unfortunately, mediocre.
I'm just reporting the news, dude. Then we have Legion of the Dead coming out from Unearthed Films.
Olaf Ittenbach. Oh.
So this is does that mean it's going to be good?
Olaf Ittenbach. A little bit on the gory side, I would assume.
Well,
but if it's good,
when has that ever been a bad thing?
Yeah.
No one's ever cared about that. But this is the unrated director's cut of the film.
Correct.
So, hey, there you go. And Dieter, that's it.
It should be better than House of the Dead, Rob. Just saying.
Well, anything is better than House of the Dead. Apologies to Mark Altman and Dave Parker. Well, Dietz, that is all the news that's... Oh, wait, you know what I didn't do? I haven't done the charts. The charts. Let's see.
The charts, yeah.
Overall, Blu-ray and HD... Blu-ray and, what do I want to say, 4K discs. Super Mario Galaxy movie, number 1, Scream 7, number 2, Avatar Fire and Ash, number 3, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the complete first season, number 4, Ready or Not 2, number 5, Day of the Dead, number 6, Hamilton, number 7, Eraser, number 8, Hoppers, number 9, and Perfect Blue, number 10.
Nice.
And now we go over to 4Ks, same thing, Super Mario Brothers, number 1, Screen 7, number 2, Day of the Dead, number 3, Eraser, number 4, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the complete first season, number 5, Avatar Fire and Ash, number 6, Perfect Blue, number 7, Hamilton, number 8, number 9, The Patriot, Roland Emmerich's The Patriot with Mel Gibson, number 9, and of course number 10 is Audition. So there you go,
And if you leave that chart a little bit open, Rob, the last one, considering perhaps we have new people here. Why are you talking about box office? It's a show about physical media. Yeah, but we do the box office because good box office normally correlates to good sales. What do we have at number 1? Super Mario Galaxy movie. Screen, obviously. So big box office normally translate later into good physical media sales.
It's true.
Later.
A good point. So now what about this mysterious, thing you wanted to talk about? Do you want to explain yourself?
Not mysterious, Rob. It seldomly happens. Sometimes, one of my contacts wants to know, Dietz, have you seen this movie? And I give information if I have seen it. But seldomly, it happens in 24 hours that 2 of my friends asks me about a movie that was in the news in the last 14 days over and over again. So, luckily, through my VPN, I could purchase this digitally in the US because some say it's banned here. And I watched the new Uwe Boll movie, Rob, Citizen Vigilante. Because Uwe making the rounds, it's banned in Germany. It's banned. Couldn't get it out. At first, the movie, Rob. As in general, the topic is hot, but the movie is trash. If you look at the movie just objectively, you can't say this is a this is a good movie. Because, Rob, I'm the first considering a vigilante movie. And you and I, sometimes we dip in this rape and revenge stuff, And if Uwe had just a movie done about that one case that he wanted to address, a girl getting raped here in Germany, and just make it about Armie Hammer following the leads and, doing some justice on those gang members that raped the girl. Nice, okay, let's do that. But there is so much filler stuff in the movie. Strange stuff. He's a landlord, has a real estate company. I was just shaking my head, Rob. I was just shaking my head. And I believe in the trailer, I have not seen the trailer, there is a woman in a hospital that Armie Hammer visits. And I thought, okay, this is probably the rape victim. Rob, at the end of the movie, I still can't tell you anything about that woman. What happened to her, who the culprit was, I have no idea, because this is not the rape victim at all. The rape victim is coming way in later, And if I want a vigilantism movie, Rob, I want to get a satisfactory, comeuppance for the bad guys. And at the end, spoiler people, he just shoots those guys, even in the back. So even from getting justification, it was totally unsatisfying how Uwe did this. Totally unsatisfying. Just shots them, and that's it. That's it. And considering, but what I wanted to talk about is, of course, a little bit about the German rating system. I told you, Rob, when a movie comes into theaters and then later comes to home video, it has to be rated again. And Rob, I showed you, I gave you the picture of the Furious. Can you show that picture of the Furious that I did send you? As you can see here in the left corner, it says FSK 18 beantragt. It means FSK 18 requested. The movie is playing already in theaters. It probably got an 18 certificate, but when it comes to the home theater market, it needs to be rated again. So at that moment, the Furious does not have an FSK rating. It did for the theatrical release, but not for the home video release. So every movie has to go 2 times when it got the theatrical release again to be rated again. And I would say 95%, of course, it gets the same rating. But it could be that the FSK says, no, the Furious is too violent. It will not get an FSK 18, And then you have to go the other route and get a little bit higher, or have to move around the FSK, which you can totally do. As an example, Rob, I don't know if I can make this visible here. If you see that white logo
here.
here.
You can see that. Yep. There we go. Yep.
It says strafrechtlich unbedenklich. This is the step higher that you can go. And for me, Rob, if you don't have an FSK 18 on your movie, and I said, Dietz, you had to go the other route, so that it is, wait, where do I have my smartphone to get the English term of strafrechtlich unbedenklich, had to translate that for me, Rob. Wait, I have to go back. So the translation is not criminally actionable or legally unobjectionable is the under criminal law. That is the next step that you can take. And if a movie does not come with an FSK 18, but the next step, I think, why did this movie does not get an FSK 18? So I'm immediately curious. Why the movie didn't get that certificate? So something is interesting immediately about the movie. So I would actually think that is a good promotion. So Uwe took the movie Citizen Vigilante to the FSK. He wanted to get an 18. They said no, because movies about vigilantism were always tricky to get through the FSK here. Always. There's always a problem considering justice done by normal people. That's always problematic here. He done this 2 times. He 2 times got rejected by the FSK, that 18 certificate. If you get that 18 certificate, it just means you can easily put it out in stores, in some kind of Best Buy, which here is MediaMarkt and Saturn. Even Uwe knows people as physical media collectors, we order online our stuff. I don't even know if those stores carry physical media anymore. So if you get an 18, it's a little bit easier, to put that stuff out. If you don't get it, it's a little bit more tricky, but it's not unusual or anything. So he will take Citizen Vigilante on Tuesday again to the FSK for the third time with a lawyer and try to get that FSK 18 for the movie in the uncut version, But to say the movie is banned in Germany, yeah, you can, but not really, because Uwe can always go the other route and get those straflich unbedenklich certificate. And for me, as a promotion, that's even a little bit better for the movie. But the movie in general, people, it's Uwe Boll. It's Uwe Boll through and through. Probably shot, I don't know how many days he used. And even Armie Hammer says on the Film Thread interview that Chris Gore and Ellen Ellening did with Armie Hammer and Uwe Boll, he only had a script about 50 pages. And like Rob said, you think 1 page is 1 minute of screen time. And he said to Uwe, how we will get a whole movie out? Oh, we fill it out with some stuff, as Uwe always does. So for me, the movie in general, you can't call this movie a good movie on an objectively based look at it, You may agree with Uwe on the topic of immigration. That's fine. But in general, as a movie, it's not good. But the publicity that Uwe got out of the movie over the last 14 days, he was even on Piers Morgan's show.
I know.
Piers Morgan show. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? So Uwe, congrats from me. You played them all like a damn fiddle, as they would have said in Metal Gear Solid. Considering how you played it, it's banned in Germany. They don't want. Yes, that is a problem considering justice and stuff. But the movie in general, people, it's not a good movie. Definitely not. So, but I have seen it now. I can talk about it. But the rating system is a little bit different here. You have to go through Hooplas. And considering the rating system, like I said, Rob, which brings me to a little bit more physical media, it were in the charts, Rob. Here we have Ready or Not 2. And as you can see, Rob, it says here 18. But I told you with the Running Man, it was the same. The movie itself is actually 16. But the bonus materials have to go through the FSK too. So something in the bonus material brought them to give the 18 here. But underneath, I don't know if I can make this visible, it says Hauptfilm 16. So the movie itself is 16, but something in the bonus materials, perhaps a deleted scene, a little bit more gory or something, got an 18. So even the bonus material need to go through the FSK. So the movie is 16, but the disc itself is 18. Perhaps it's a trailer or something like that. That often happens too. Luckily, I can switch it, so I don't have the rating in front of it. Sometimes there's a trailer on the disc that is an 18, but the movie is a 16. But then you have the 18 in front of it. So Uwe will try on Tuesday with a lawyer to get that FSK 18, but there's different possibilities for him to go. And you already can order the movie in Austria, without the FSK uncut as a steelbook, as a media book. And hopefully the audio commentary will hopefully still be, again, a blast. But the traction that movie has gotten over the last 14 days was insane. So Uwe, congrats how you played it, because we were all thinking you were done with doing movies, but He's had to scratch that itch, and Uwe's back, Rob. Uwe's back.
Uwe
With a bigger
is
vengeance
back.
than ever.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that brings us to the end. I thought I would announce, because I haven't done this on this show.
Yeah.
So because my creative juices are never not flowing, I'll tell you. So I had this idea. I was thinking about this channel, and I've created all of this material. You've created it. Other people have created it. And there's thousands of hours of material on this channel. And because most of it's live, it after the first few days, it essentially dies. The shows die. And people don't really discover interviews with people that I've done. And I was thinking, how can I repurpose something on this channel? And I was thinking, well, what would I do? And I've always wanted to write books. I collect books, and I've been working on a horror novel for the last 6 months, which is slow going because it's hard to get in and out of that headspace. But Alvaro's read some of it and was enthusiastic. But I've always wanted to write some kind of a book. People have always said to me, write a book about Star Trek. And I said, well, I was thinking about that, and I did 13 Star Trek Picard after shows. And I interviewed Terry Metalis. I interviewed Todd Stashwick, who played Liam Shaw. I interviewed Christopher Monfett. I interviewed Matt Okamura. I interviewed, of course, Sean Tretta, the writers on the show, and Dave Blass, the production designer. So I downloaded transcripts of those shows, because those were all shows that I said things in and participated in with Bill Hunt and then the people we interviewed. And I looked at the transcripts, and I'm like, I started to restructure them and play around with them, and I figured, wait, I think there's a book here. Because and the premise of the book is, I've been so vehemently opposed to modern Star Trek, but I liked Picard season 3. So the question is, well, why? It wasn't perfect, because Star Trek Picard season 3 was still saddled with what happened in seasons 1 and 2, which I objected to. So they couldn't. But I really enjoyed what they did with the legacy characters moving forward. They really did great work. And there's things that some people don't like, and I don't think it's perfect by any means. But obviously, I availed myself of an opportunity to see the episodes early, and I was, a supporter of it for a long period of time before it even went. So I decided that I started thinking I would just repackage the interviews and the after shows into a book. And then I started writing an introduction. And then I started writing more. And it wasn't just transcripts anymore. I was offering my opinion, and I think it's turned into a really interesting book. And I've sent some people some early chapters, but I've gone through and re-edited everything. And I had the introduction and the first chapter looked at by a professional editor who didn't know anything about Star Trek, and said, I love this. I love what you've done here. It's wild. He said the writing was great, and I've worked on it. Here's the thing. I've only been doing this for the last 3 weeks. And this cover's a little busy, but I like the underlying artwork for it, so I'm going to keep that. But here's the book. And I decided that I'm going to write a series of books called From the Robservatory. That is the overarching, and who knows what they're going to be. But this book is called The Future of People, Finding Star Trek Again Through Picard Season 3, Reflections of an Imagination Connoisseur. And there won't be a second Imagination Connoisseur under my name, but I haven't. That was just a mock-up. I was more interested in the underlying artwork, and then I'll use that artwork for the rest of the book and figure it out. So that's the book that, and kind of the impetus of doing this is Star Trek's 60th anniversary is on September 8th. So I looked into a lot of different alternatives about self-publishing, and you can do books on demand on Amazon. The problem is I want to really do like a spot UV printing on the cover, so it's both matte finish and glossy, and I want to do it like a real book. And
shiny. You want it shiny, Rob.
I want it shiny.
I want it shiny.
So I want to make it available in a hardcover. I'm trying to do a slipcased hardcover, limited edition, like maybe 500 copies that I would sign. A slipcase hardcover, a hardcover, a soft cover, a digital download, and an audio book. I want to do all those things. So I've been looking into those things, and I'm like, I can't afford to print, by myself to print books. And you can always do it books on demand from Amazon, but that, you don't make any money from that really. And they'll do it, but they're not as nice as I want them to be. So I'm considering doing a crowdfunding campaign, but I wouldn't crowdfund until I have the book totally finished. But if I do decide to crowdfund it, whether it's a 2-month crowdfund or a 1-month crowdfund, the crowdfund ends on September 8th. And on that day, you would get the digital download and the audio version of the book. And then we would start shipping out the hardcovers and the softcovers. So I want to follow Eric July's format. Eric July, if you don't know him, young Ripa, and he created his own comic universe. And the first thing he did was he made a 96-page graphic novel that he spent like $100,000 on and paid for it. So it was already done. So when he crowdfunded it, the book was already finished, and it just had to be printed based on his orders. And I think that's what I'm going to do. The crowdfund isn't really a crowdfund. I've already done all the work. The crowdfund is just to literally pre-order the book. And I've sent out early versions, just noodlings of chapters to people. Major Chai Chai, I sent out some of an early version that's completely changed since she's read it. But I'm pretty happy with it. So it's going to probably be, the manuscript is close to 70,000 words.
Yeah.
And, it'll probably be a little over 200 pages. But, hey, if you watch this channel, maybe it's something you'll be interested in. I don't know. But I'm going to make it the first of many books, hopefully, of the From the Robservatory series. So there you go.
Nice.
And on that note,
we have some super chats.
We do have. Thank you for telling me that, because I am going to go see. I have to drive far, and let me just make sure. Stubble McShave says, although he's more or less unknown to general audiences, would you consider Bill Lawrence to be the Taylor Sheridan of comedy television? Well, that I have to.
Yeah, why not? Scrubs, Shrinking. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say everything he's done. He has okay. Listen to this. Listen to what Bill Lawrence has cooking for him. Scrubs, Shrinking, Cougar Town, Bad Monkey, Ted Lasso, Rooster, Spin City, Undateable. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, he's got. Yeah, I would say that he's unbelievable.
Good take, Stubble.
Yeah. And Rush Hour. He wrote the original Rush Hour.
Oh, didn't know.
Yeah. Or is that the TV series? It's TV series. Not the original. It's the TV series Rush Hour. But so he's done better as he's gone forward. But I would say that's pretty interesting. But Taylor Sheridan has done all these hit shows. His shows are a little bit more hit and miss. Whereas, I mean, not lately, but I would say Taylor Sheridan, between Tulsa King and Lioness and all the Tombstone or Yellowstone spinoffs, I mean, pretty impressive. But yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's a very impressive guy. And I love Landman. I got to say, Landman is a lot of fun to watch. But in terms of, let's see what we've got here. Let me just go back and make sure that I want to make sure I got everybody's. Let's see. I'm looking through all these. Richard Curtis, I've done that. Okay. 20th Century Studios. Ubi. You Buy Now says Frakes and Spiner have a great YouTube show. They do, dropping names with guests. Have you thought about getting on, or what about the Shatner interview? If they've interviewed Shatner, I have not watched that yet. I love their show. I think it's great. The problem with me trying to get onto a show like that is, to be honest, I'm not big enough to be a guest on a show like that. I mean, you have to have people that have name. I would be of no value to that show. Unless they wanted to cover Free Enterprise as a movie and I went on with Shatner. the reality is I mean, even though I did the Blu-rays and interviewed all those guys, and if I met Frakes, he'd probably say, "Oh yeah, I remember you had a good time." We did, but I just haven't done anything worthy of going on to that show, unfortunately. And I don't feel bad saying that. And that's not me being humble. I'm just being a pragmatist. I just don't mean enough. You know, who's going to tune in to watch me? I'd be their lowest rated show. Kenneth Maynard says, give me a Dick Tracy TV series with John Hamm. That's not a bad idea.
No, not at all.
Let's see. Alade Bro, who's a member of the channel.
always those names, Rob.
Alade Bro says, after you recommended Colony, the upcoming movie from the director of Train to Busan, after you recommended Colony on Campia, I watched Train to Busan. Wow. Now I'm insanely hyped for Colony. What's your favorite zombie film or franchise? Well, as everyone knows, my very favorite zombie film of all time is the original George Romero, Dawn of the Dead. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I know going back now and watching it, it's a little quaint, you know, considering what we've seen on The Walking Dead on a weekly basis. But back then, it was hugely influential. And the scope of it, I loved it so much. I saw it originally when it was out theatrically.
We still get zombie movies to this day, Rob. They're still cooking, you know, zombie movies.
Fantastic. So that's one of my favorites, and of all time. And you know, Romero's trilogy of Dawn. Night, Day, and Dawn. Night, Dawn, and Day. His other movies, you know, Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Diary of the Dead. Land of the Dead felt too much like a studio movie to me, and indeed it was. I mean, I don't hate it, but I remember I've likened Survival. One of those two I very much enjoyed. One was more like a found footage. Yeah, that's Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I love Night of the Living Dead, obviously one of the great transcendent horror films of all time. I love Dawn. I do like Day, although I have to tell you, I'm sorry for saying this, but I've always hated the score for Day of the Dead. Okay. John Harrison's score, the synth score, it's too jaunty. Coming off of what Goblin did, and you know, it's just too you know, I was not a big fan of that score. Okay. But I do like Day of the Dead. It has, I think, some of the greatest gore effects ever done. And it's got some really intriguing ideas in it. So I still do love Day of the Dead. No. I've heard rumors that Second Sight is in fact going to do a Day of the Dead. I really hope they do, because the transfer will be aces as much as they can do it with what they have to work with. So, you know, we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that's my answer to that question. And I'm glad have you seen the trailer for Colony?
No, I have not, Rob. I have not.
Bro, I mean,
and we'll stay away then from the trailer.
Just when you thought the zombie genre was played out, they have a really interesting take
on it. Okay.
So
nice.
And now let me just make sure that I haven't missed anyone. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody's super chats, because you never know. No, I think I'm caught up. I think that's it. We're good. Oh, nope, we're good. I'm caught up.
Okay. We're good.
Dude, I gotta go.
Go ahead. You gotta go. And I have early shift from. Even if I would have stuff to show, I will show next week. Then I have more time. And on note, I will say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And with that, I say to all of you, I am off to the Irvine Spectrum to go see Citizen Kane for its 85th anniversary with Alvaro Zainas Amaro, who, by the way, we have a new show. There's going to be a new show on the Burnettwork starting on July 15th called The Forever Era. We've been talking about it for a long time. It's a new show with Alvaro and I. And what is the Forever Era? We're going to be talking about things that we love that go into what we call the permanent canon. that is the undisputably great things that you should all experience. Books, comics, movies, albums. What we think are the greatest things that imagination connoisseurs everywhere should either own, possess, understand, have knowledge of. And those things belong to what we call the forever era. They are not pop culture artifacts that you will disappear in 20 years. These are the best of the best, and the canon of them shapes what imagination connoisseurs of the future should draw upon for greatness.
There you go.
If that makes any sense. If that's not highfalutin, if that's not a bar, and you can come in and the thing is, we are saying that these are beyond disputing. Look, you might have a different opinion, but you would be wrong. Alvaro and I are the arbiters of this, and we are going to present these things to you as what we believe. Now, everybody's mileage may vary, but we have decided that it's time for somebody to put their foot down and say that these things are the very best things. And you can dispute them.
Best of the best.
The best of the best. And it's called the Forever Era. We might do the show once a week. We might do it every other week. But on July 15th, we're going to launch this show. And you have to tune in to find out. It's going to be a short show, half an hour. We'll present what we're presenting. And then for the next half an hour, we will take questions. It'll be an hour-long show, and we're going to keep it to an hour-long show. And it should be fun. July 15th. Yeah. Don't know the time yet, but tune in for the Forever Era.
And I hope tomorrow, Rob, if you have time, you watch USA versus Belgium at 5 p.m.
Oh, I will.
Soccer.
Don't you worry. Is it
Nice.
5 p.m. Pacific time?
Yeah, if I made the math correctly, Rob, tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Where are they playing?
I have no idea where America is playing. At what stadium? I can tell you.
Well, you know what I can do? Because we have the internet, dude.
Yeah. USA, Belgium?
Yeah, let's see.
What does it say?
The single blah, blah, where is it? Hang on. Yeah, soccer. Hang on. When you say Belgium, where? Location.
Yeah. Location. Where are they playing?
It'll take... Oh, it's going to take place in Lumen Field in... Wait for it. Seattle.
Seattle.
My hometown. You know what that means?
Well,
Belgium doesn't stand a chance.
A win. Yeah.
A win for the USA team.
Yeah.
So.
And Max, if you're still there, enjoy your air conditioning.
Yeah, mine's not working very much either. I think I've lost 4 pounds sitting here. Anyway, folks, thanks for being here. And remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. Thanks to the moderating staff, Tom Jr. Jackson, Darth Plato, anyone else, Lord Toth. I want to thank everybody for generously supporting this channel via super chats and tips. And tell me, do you think I should crowdfund the book, print it myself? What should I do? What should I do to get this book printed? If it's even worthy of being... I think it is. I think that the work I've done... I know I've been writing it very quickly, but I've been working on pretty much nothing else in my spare time but this book, because I want to get it out for the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. There will never be a better time, as Ambassador Nanclus said in the long version of Star Trek 6. Anyway, I will see you all later. And Dieter, you too. All right, that's it.
Okay. I'll let you go.